that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Our goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. I hope everybody is doing swell out there. I'm still being observant of boxing. It might be maybe one or two awards I might drop out there from last year, but technically, the calendar wise last year, but I don't know if I be triggering people or what, man, but I'm always available, man. I always put the link out there, man. It's always if you got something on your chest, I'm one of them ones where you can come. I don't duck no smoke, and I'm always in the same. Pretty much, I'm always in the same place at the same time. I made an adjustment. When I get off early, I'm gonna be coming on a little bit earlier, but I made an adjustment because it's like shit. I can go. Sometimes I be cutting it off because it be getting too late, and then people be getting ready to jump on. But I'm always here and available. So if you got something on your chest, I'm not one of them guys that's gonna bring you on, try to embarrass you, mute you, talk down about you, talk about your mother, tell you don't know shit about boxing. I'm just gonna make you look and sound dumb if you come at me the wrong way. But if you got something on your chest and I trigger you or something that don't sit well with you and you really just you spilling over, you got a lot of extra energy that you need to deal with, I'll be your huckleberry. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I don't duck and dodge. I make the platform available so we can all talk boxing. And I think I do a good job no matter how many people is up on a panel. We don't really talk over each other. We allow each other to get our full thoughts, paragraphs, novels sometimes. If you cooking, we not going to get in the kitchen and interrupt. But I'm always going to extend that invitation to where if you feel like, I really don't like this body where I don't like Mike for some reason, come get it off your chest. Don't be scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the type, man. I'm not going to do you like they did me the last couple times I tried to do that. People got disrespectful, they muted me, all the same shit that they don't like. And that's that shit I don't like. But again, if you are on board and you're listening, you're an avid listener, you might even be cool with me, but you feel like you just got a bone to pick with me, get it off your chest. I welcome you. I extend the olive branch, an invitation, whatever it is you want, a salutation, whatever it is you want, however you want to church it up. We can put lipstick on that pig, but we can get it on if that's what you want. I thought I'd get that PSA before I get started. Salute the AC in the building. Salute the Cookie Monster. Bodywork. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Sounding great, but that's always. I appreciate you, Cookie Monster. But yeah, I've been observant, man. Boxing is heating up. A lot of the things that's been going on, I kind of, I kind of foresaw what it was, and I seen that this is where it was going to go. Like with all that quote unquote pussyfooting around that boxers was doing and all that, now it's almost like they have to fight. It ain't no easy pickings, because to get premium dollars, since they done messed up and tore the bottom out the market, you know what I'm saying? They done overpaid some people, you know, they done got some people spoiled, they done set precedents in many ways. It's to the point now where it's like, hey, you gotta fight to get paid. And it's looking like you know, Sugar Daddy, man, you gonna have to hit him with that I'm in the bind, Nate. You're gonna have to go to your Sugar Daddy like, I'm in the bind, Nate. You'll get your money when I get what I want. Cause hey, you gonna have to tell Nate you in the bind, man, to get some of that strange change he was handing out, man. And I you know, I'm not sure what you got to do to get it, man. I'm not, you know, I heard everybody was saying, man, bow down and kiss the ring and hold hands. And I'm like, man, you don't know if that's a nipple ring. You don't know what that is, man. I'm not kissing no ring. I'm not calling no motherfucker your excellency. You know, I'm not doing it. You know, I've never, and I'm also the same person that, man, my latest tattoo on my forearm says not for sale. You know what I'm saying? It's etched in stone. That was my latest one that I got. I'm not for, so even if you have, I tend to wear long sleeves all the time, but if you happen to see me, I'm already branded. I'm not for sale. It's not anything, not another thing you can do to get me to conform to some of that bullshit that y'all want to do. But as it relates to boxing, a lot of these boxers are finding out that you can't do what was starting to become a habit. This shit that Ryan Garcia is doing, he could just pop out whenever he want, halfway train, get an old bag, claim mental health, go back in the case. Like, no, you're not Ryan. You don't have the appeal. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if he don't get serious about boxing, then boxing gonna get serious about him. All it takes is a matter of time and the right opponent. And Mario Barrios, that's not gonna be the guy. You know what I'm saying? I heard somebody talk about that shit today. And Mario Barrios, he can get goosing and all that. He don't got the power. You know what I'm saying? I heard somebody saying if Rolly can beat Mario Barrios, I said, man, do this dude, like, I can't believe some of the tenured people in boxing be making these points. I'd be astounded. He said if Rolly can beat Ryan, then Mario Barrios damn sure. I'm like, I don't know where. I don't know, was Mario Barrios in the crib eating crayons and banging his head on shit when he was little? Do he have that special people strength, that yellow, that back of the bus with the helmet and the chin strap type strength? If Mario Barrios got that, because that's the shit that made Ryan Garcia put his hands in his pockets. That and the fact he was coming off of a layoff. Because it's funny how when Devin came back, he got a reprieve because he was off for a year. But Ryan, the one who got his dub evaporated for not disclosing his supplements, getting labeled a cheater, all of these things, even though he didn't have his best looking aesthetically performance, he still waxed that ass. And that was a blow to the ego as well. You gotta think that was game 7 when he beat that ass. Then I also heard that say, oh man, all he got is the left hook. I'm like, man, how often do we gotta go? I can't believe people talking boxing this long be making up these dumbass talking points to where it's like, if all he had was a left hook, then that means the left side of Devin's face wouldn't have looked like that. You know why the left side of his face was looking almost just as bad as the right side of his face? Because class, the left hook was landing on the right side of the face. The right hand was landing on the left side of the face. You know, Mario Barrios ain't got the same power with Rolly. He can get goosing and all that, but that's gonna be up to the kind of metal, the kind of moxie, you know, if Mario Barrios is feeling like a vibrant thing is going to dictate whether or not he's going to be able to do it. But it's just like trying to get Shakur to go up there and discipline Tio. Trying to get Mario Barrios to go in there and prove something at this point in time to Ryan. I mean, that's not the guy for the job. You know what I'm saying? That's not the guy for the job. You know, I mean, if he can beat him, he can beat him. And Mario Barrios going to have to get back to like maybe the way he looked against Ugas, maybe probably the best he's looked when he was fighting Ugas, I think. You know, but that's just a little sidebar. But newsflash, y'all, all these boxers are not like Ryan. They don't have the luxury, they don't have the fan base, they don't have like these teeny bopper like type chicks, almost like Disney type. He's like the Disney kid without having starred on Disney, but he's getting that kind of following. It's a special demographic is the reason why he's having his way with boxing, almost like a novelty boxer. You can't do that. And if you look like me, you know what I'm saying, and you look like me, and you know there are other people that like come out and hate and got like a band of brothers or a father or something, you're gonna have to be special inside that ring to even get away with something like that. They're not even really letting Tank get away with it, and I think he's just waiting on his legal troubles to evaporate or clear up or whatever's going on, and let all this stuff get behind him, and then he's going to move forward. But they're not even really affording Tank. People are still roasting the shit out of Tank, and I'm like, damn, he had a fight, you know, but I digress on that too. Most of these boxers ain't Tank either. And this is why things are starting to heat up and the matches are starting to be made and it's starting to bubble. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was going to happen. We just had to get past that stretch because we got spoiled in 2023. 2024, it started off okay. And then a bunch of BS happened. We got a couple fights that we didn't get. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple people played sick and like it was just, I mean, it was a mixed bag for 2025 in my opinion. But the fact that people were getting spoiled, going to go get bags, like the fact that Sugar Daddy came in and spoiled all the sugar babies, and now he want more than some sugar. You can't just give him some sugar now. He want to see toes and elbows now. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was doing something strange for a little piece of change, you're gonna have to make it Jangalang. You know what I'm saying? For old Sugar Daddy Shay. You know, because it don't look like, if it was, then all of the quote unquote big fights, like people wouldn't be sitting up there remixing their content every week, talk about how Virgil is ducking boots and shit like that. They wouldn't have to remix every week and do that if Sheik was giving out that bag the way he was. But what he did was he hit y'all vein, he hit y'all in the main vein, and he got y'all high like Kurt Cobain, and then he left you. he sent you on the train with no pocket change. Dang. Oh man, Turkey is cold, man. Oh man, what he did was he gave you that first hit and you went back. Like y'all remember on what's my favorite movie? Dead Presidents, one of my favorite movies. Y'all remember when Chris Tucker was in there, man? He hit that main vein. Y'all seen how he was just like, ooh. You know what I'm saying? I think his balls got the itching. Like that shit go down, you know, it go through your. That's what he did. He gave y'all that initial hit, and then y'all been chasing the dragon ever since. But if this was a big fight, because remember he said if you want a big fight, and you already with Eddie, his main apple scrapper, or you know his, I don't know what you want to call him, his do boy. Yeah, I think Eddie is more like his do boy. If it was a big fight, Sugar Daddy would have pulled out his purse. Reach over there. Remember how your mom used to tell me, reach over there and give me my purse, baby. Go ahead. Yeah, Sugar Daddy would have said, hey, reach over and give me my purse. How much? Okay, this is a big, okay, what y'all need? All right, go ahead. Go to the store, y'all. Go ahead and get some chips and some cookies and some cakes and some ice cream and get everything you want. But no, obviously it's A, it's not a big fight. B, y'all salty and y'all up shit, y'all sold everybody up Shit's Creek and made everybody jump on the turkey, and he wasn't the play to begin with. Why? Because he don't have the best interest of boxing in mind. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to like tank the market, and I think he put a big ass dent in it. You know what I'm saying? He got people so dizzy they don't know which way is up. You know, and that's kind of fucked up. But I'm gonna digress from that. We getting fights, y'all, and people are not paying attention. But before I get into the main potatoes, I'm gonna actually speak on it briefly, the meat and potatoes, and no, that is this whole duck thing. It's this duck thing, right? It's this duck language, and people just want to outright. I mean, you're talking about people that's been watching the sport, studying the sport, making content in the sport, making videos, speaking, doing interviews. I still have a habit of just calling anybody a duck, and I'm like, man, it got to be a criteria. If somebody, I mean, we should have to do this every so often. Like, we should have to have this conversation, just like rehydration, easily baked, salute, just like rehydration and all that. We should have to have this conversation every so often about, okay, what is a duck? Especially since it's new people and people getting accustomed to, like, they getting accustomed to what they call churn. Y'all know what churn is? Or turnover or churn in the workplace. That's like people, so fans and listeners, they have churn. That's why people can lie the way they do online. Like, that's what I figured it out. That's why people could tell you one thing on Monday, tell you something else on Tuesday, tell you something, go back to what they were saying on Wednesday, go back to what they were saying on Tuesday, on Thursday, and then wrap it all up and then ping pong you on Friday, depending on who's listening. It's because people don't have time to sit there and sift through, and there's churn. That means that somebody gets turned up about boxing and say, you know what, fuck boxing, I'm going back to watching basketball. You know what, fuck boxing, I'm going back to watching football. You know what, fuck all of these sports, because they all starting to become compromised. I'm about to just start doing my own thing. I'm about to just start spending more time with my lady, spending more time with my family. Fuck boxing. And then they come back. And the people that's feeding these people with all these ideologies about boxing, they have a chance to be two-faced. Like, one day they can be this way, tomorrow they could be that way, and then when they talk about this boxer, they could be that way. When they talk about this boxer, they could be that way. And they don't care. Why? Because as long as they can cater to those new subscribers, those new listening ears, they can get away with it. But it's people like me that's been here that want to have some kind of level of consistency, right? They want to have some level of decency, because, like, I be wanting to listen to certain people, and once they go off in a tangent about this and that, and they start talking this, and it's like the same shit every week, like every other day. Like, it's the same shit Tuesday that it is gonna be Thursday. It's the same shit Wednesday that it was like Monday. It's like, trying to give you a shot, but it don't make no sense. And this ducking conversation is one of them ones that's like, it's just like the belts. People like, they love picking and choosing when the belts matter. I'm starting to think that some people are in alignment with the TKO shit, and they alignment with Sheik, because Sheik trying to do away with boxing. He trying to completely say that boxing don't matter, the ranking and all that. Like, don't y'all know that that's a slippery slope going into the wild, wild west? Now, I don't think people should be able to hide behind belts. No. But I do think, like what Abdullah Mason did, he has now stamped himself. So now we know he's one of them ones. Now he can move in a way to where it's like, okay, that was the barometer to show you that guy. Other than that, what we going to be going by? The eye test. Like, well, how did that work out for Keyshawn? He looked good, and then he got a belt, then he imploded, because it seemed like that he wasn't ready for that level of success. Because if he was ready for it, he would still be maintaining his belt. So we pick and choose when belts matter. And it's almost like it's like people want to get stuck on whether or not the belts matter, as opposed to how the fighter is moving. And it's really very, very complex situation that you got to analyze. But there are certain factors in why we're not getting the fights. One is because y'all keep blowing smoke up your favorite fighter's ass. Y'all keep excusing all the things that they're doing. Y'all don't cut no slack for certain fighters. And then if you like a fighter, you give them all kind of slack. You give them all kind of like grace, and you ignore and you turn a blind eye. It's like, I try to give the fighters I rock with a little bit of grace. Like, I'm not going to go all the way in on you. But I'm still gonna speak to, like, if you doing something, like if you getting ready to fight a novelty boxer, I'm not gonna promote it. How about that? If you go tooth and nail with a guy that I know you not yourself, I'm not gonna say you won. Even if you my top dog, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna go with what my eyes saw, but I can do that. We just gotta keep it a buck, man. Whether it's right and exact, and what's going on is boxing itself. People are starting to say it's rigged and it's fixed, and it's more and more WWE, WWF. They starting to, but then when we talk about it, we're starting to be just as fake. The best thing we can do is when the fight is in the making, we could be honest about who's doing what. We should not be covering up for how this one fighter is moving just because they tickle your fancy a little bit. It's like, I understand you be quiet, but it's like people can't even really be quiet about it. They gotta force themselves and force everybody to agree with how they see things. And what I be doing, I'm like, okay, that's fine if that's how you want to roll. My thing is, when I hear it and I hear you doing that for this guy, but then your shit changed when it's for that guy, that's when I'm be like, nah, then okay, all right, I see what you're doing now. You running game, okay, cool. You getting your money, little duffel bag boy, okay, cool. You getting your following up, okay, cool. You getting them extra little clicks and like, okay, cool. You're virtual signaling, okay, cool. But that's not what we do over here. We do body work. We don't take shit for face value. We gonna know the length, the breadth, the width, the depth, the capacity, the buoyancy, the volume. Cause we don't take shit for face value. It's just easy, man, and that's why I gotta actually see the lay of the land. I gotta know what's going on before I can actually come out. I don't have preordained things. I'm just gonna get out there and I'm gonna say this tomorrow. Some people actually do that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get out and say this tomorrow. Like, nothing happened. No breaking news. No change in the situation. It's just, I wake up, yep, he a duck today. Oh, yep, that sounds good. Oh, yep, that's what. No, man, no. We gotta look at the law of the land, the lay of the land, see what the current events are, see how things are moving. And as information come in, we gotta change towards that. Because one day your favorite fighter, he wants to be undisputed. He's going for all the belts and he get half of them. And then the next day he just jump up and move weight divisions. And like, how do you evaluate that? You got to take that, even if you fuck with him, you got to take that into consideration. So that's what we're going to do, man. That's what the premise of this show is going to be about. That's what we ultimately going to land. I started a little bit earlier so that if this, sometimes I be get ready to get off, and then some of the people that I really fuck with, they come on late. So I wanted to give an opportunity where if this go long and we get long-winded about this subject and we get off into the nooks and crannies of this boxing shit, we'll have a little bit more time to talk about it. Because nobody really want to people just want to throw out blanket statements. They want to pull out their little pea shooters and shoot, or they bazookas and blow somebody up, and they don't really ever take time to break it down. They just get frustrated and mad, tell you dick riding, tell you, all right, well, don't fuck with me then. All right, well, if you don't agree, go somewhere else. I'm not going to do that. You don't got to agree. But we can have a conversation. And I can put something on wax so that when I come back to this shit and I chop it up and I do all these shorts that I got lined up and I come back and this shit be aging like fine wine. Y'all know what YouTube told me? Now, I didn't do this, but YouTube told me. You know what YouTube did? YouTube, how when you look at it, showed me who I watched the most. It showed me the 2 channels. So out of the ones that I watched the most, it was 2 channels that I watched. Well, it was 3 channels that I watched the most, but 2 of them was boxing channels. Right? So it gave me the 2 channels, and then it gave you all these little things, but I don't want to misquote it, so I'm looking for it. And then I'm gonna get into this housekeeping real quick. But I'm gonna tell you what it told me. Because I posted, I forgot I had posted it on one of the posts. And I was like, wow. Because even my IG, I noticed that my IG, my top interest, boxing match analysis. That was number one. Animal behavior studies. That was number two. Hip hop music trends. That was number three. My top channels was my channel, WCS, and Fanon. Those were the channels I watched the most. You know what my YouTube award was? Most likely to know the next big thing in boxing before anyone else. I can't make this up. Moments from your year, early 2025. Watched boxing matches. Mid 2025, explored rap culture. Late 2025, focused on personal growth. The Challenger. That's what they called me. The Challenger. 7% of people. That's what it was. It says you're drawn to content that shows competition and rising to the challenge. You've watched boxing match analysis and rap freestyle contests showing a competitive spirit, the most compatible with the adventurer and the connector. Top interest. Boxing match analysis was number one. Animal behavior studies was number two. Hip hop music trends was number three. Number four, fighter training routines. Number five, rap freestyle contest. That's everything, like, everything that I was like, okay, that's pretty neat. I had that for a minute, and it's been a little minute since I did it, but YouTube will give you that. You know what I'm saying? That's what YouTube said. Like, I'm being honest. I'm being transparent. That's what YouTube said. So, I should tell you a lot about Bodywork. I'm trying to be as transparent as I can be in this fake ass world that we in, man. But it's it's not hard. It's just irritating. You know what I'm saying? Just irritating, man. So that's my little rant, my initial rant. It may be a couple more rants in here. I get passionate about that boxing. When I get passionate about that boxing, I get to talking. But we're gonna get into the housekeeping. But yeah, I wanted to have my little rant. What's up, AC?
What's good, bro? What's going on, man? Yeah, I'm trying to find where you found that information because I'm dying to see what YouTube would have to say about me. Like, in the wide range of videos that I watch on YouTube, I'm dying to see that. Like, cause
you gotta go to your when you go to your channel, it should have popped up last year. Like when you it didn't say your analysis, it said your YouTube analysis for the year. Like you didn't see nothing, like you didn't get no notification or anything like that.
I probably did, but didn't really pay that much attention to it.
Yeah, to tell you who you watch the most, what your interest is, how, like, pretty much how you spent your time, what and it's by percentages. There's a bunch of different ranking things, and what you are, like, what your, I guess, your YouTube spirit is. So how people have spirit animals. You know what I'm saying? Have what your YouTube spirit is.
Yeah. I mean, I'll figure that shit out, bro. I'll figure it out. Because I'm dying just to know, because I know a lot of videos I watch, probably boxing would be somewhere in the top 5, but probably mostly some base or science shit, like Neil deGrasse Tyson talking, what's this dude, Brian Cox, somebody like that is probably number 1. And then boxing would probably be number 3. But that's why I'm just dying to know what it says. But salute, Pop.
Yeah, salute, Pop.
He must have a lot of background or whatever. But I'm gonna go back and let you get into the meat, to the housekeeping. So we.
All right.
Oh yeah, my fault. I was on mute.
What's going on? I'm about to do the housekeeping, and then we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. The housekeeping, man. Number one, Hitchens officially joins team most hated. Now, some people actually make a conscious decision to become the heel or whatever, or play that, you know. It's like when they were trying to come up with something for Devin before they came up with Debo. They was trying to call him like Dev Dollars or something, and he was looking for this alter ego or this new thing that he could be. You know, and I was almost doing the Danny DeVito thing when he be doing that. No, and when he be waving his hands back and forth, like no. Like I was doing the Danny DeVito thing, like no, but somehow, some way, man, Richardson Hitchens. No problem, Elazar. No problem, man. We still going through the housekeeping anyway. So, we got some foundational shit to go through anyway. I feel you, man. I feel you. But he in a way, I don't know if because I don't know what it is. People just don't like, you know how certain people just don't get. I guess people don't think he got the it factor, so some people just don't like him. And he's become like the guy that everybody want to like go by and just kick at. Like, not like, to me, it's kind of funny to me because I'm like, I could see how some people could think he was annoying with some of the things he say, but I'm like, I don't get it because he don't got one of them obnoxious fathers. Eddie treat him like the red-headed stepchild on the label. Cause look at how he parade. Look, don't take my word for it, but y'all look at how he treats Boots. Look how he talk about Boots. Look how he treats Shakur. Look how he talk about Shakur. Look how he treat Cruz. Look how like, and then we just now starting to see, because I just seen something where he was talking about Saburo, even though Saburo's no longer with him. Like, you should hear the shit the way he was talking about Saburo. It's like, damn, Eddie, like Eddie is really starting to show his true colors, and he don't got, so he got a deal, right? But he don't got a loud mouth father, so he's not one of the, because people pick and choose when they want to be mad at the boxing dads, depending on who's saying what and how, you know, how they doing it, they get mad about that. He don't got a whole band of brothers. He ain't all squatted up. He don't got a whole squad. He don't got Bud and Clarissa and the whole network. Like, nobody, like fucking Tim Bradley don't ever say shit about Richardson Hitchens. Andre Ward don't. For pure boxers, for a guy who made it the way he did, they don't ever talk about the pure boxer like that. In Richardson Hitchens, they don't ever, like, he's like the stepchild right now. So my thing is this, okay, cool, because like now that people don't like you, you now fall in the same category as Floyd. You now fall in the same category as Tank. And now all you got to do is make it work for you. See, because now people want to see you lose. People want to see you get your shit pushed in. You know what I'm saying? I like Richardson Hitchens, one of my guys. Like most of the guys at 140, if you about that life, if you know what I'm saying, those are my guys. 140 is my division. So I like a lot of guys at 140. So he's one of my guys. I like his story. You know, I respect how he was able to do it. His record, how he never fought nobody with an upside down record, his pure boxing style. I like it. But I see that a lot of people don't like him talking this shit. Like, everybody else can talk that shit. But the thing is, with him, it's like, no matter who he's negotiating with or what's going on, you know who they always blame for the fights not happening? Him. I'm like, hold on. So all these people are better than him. So he's like the B side to most of these guys that he's not the A side to. And even in a situation where he was the champ and he was faced with a guy talking shit like as a challenger like Keyshawn was able to price himself out, go get a bigger bag with Turkey after he imploded, and circumvent him to go basically get more money probably than what he would have got for Richardson Hitchens in a title shot, to probably go get more money to go fight Jermaine Ortiz for a non-title shot, just to skip the whole division after that. And then that's Richardson Hitchens' fault. That ain't Eddie's fault for not producing the money. That ain't Turkey fight for reneging on the T.O. FEMO thing. You know, the Alcatraz fight and the unification that was supposed to be had. That ain't Turkey's fault. Who said, I'm not working with him if he ain't with Eddie. So he basically chastised Richardson Hitchens with Stockholm Syndrome go right back home to Master Eddie, and he still get blamed for not making a fight. He get blamed for not fighting Jermaine Ortiz. No, they said he was cherry picking Jermaine Ortiz when he came up, and I was like, that'll be an excellent opponent. Common opponent, just like Cambosa's with common opponent with T.O., common opponent with Loma. We'll see what you do with old light-skinned Jermaine. But no. But then it was good. It was almost like the Frank Martin and Shakur versus the Frank Martin and Tank thing. Whereas when it was Richardson Hitchens and Jermaine Ortiz, that was the cherry picking. Nobody want to see that. But then when it became Keyshawn, like, oh, that's an excellent fight. Do y'all see what be happening in boxing? And it's like the softest, like rainbowy-est, colorful-est, footy with the ball in the back, soft type boxing talk I've ever heard in my life. Then when it come to Gary Antoine, people weaponize him and they say, oh man, because he come on and say, oh yeah, I beat him up in the amateurs. Like, where's the pressure on Gary to send the contract? But that's Richardson Hitchens' fault too, that the fight don't happen. I'm like, hold on, but Gary is the bigger name. He's the more likable guy. He's the more threat. He has the longest tenure with his promotional company. But guess what? He has a mandatory he got to face. But it's still Richardson Hitchens' fault that he's ducking Gary. Sabril Matias, it's been a fact. And Sabril Matias, y'all know how hard I was going for Sabril Matias. Sabril Matias, for the longest time, we were saying, I even called out Richardson. I said, hold on, man, that don't look right. But not only did I call out Richardson Hitchens, I called out Liam Paro too. They both went their separate ways. They wound up coming back. Liam Paro doubled back, and he went back, and he was the first one to actually get the fight. But long story short, there was never a contract from Sabril for Richardson Hitchens. But you know who get the blame? Richardson Hitchens for not making the fight. He had T.O. in the ring at his fight, doing the ceremonial thing. You know who get the blame for that? Richardson Hitchens. So it's like now, dog, like the thing that Schofield is getting, honestly, because his father and the way he talk and the outlander shit that Schofield did, the way people are starting to not like them, they don't like Richardson. But guess what? Now they want to see you lose. Now you got to figure out how to get these fights across the line, because you're not going to get the same. You're not. It's like, it's crazy because anybody you can unify with, they don't want to fight you, but it's your fault. Anybody that you can defend your belt with, they don't want to fight you, or they find ways to move around and do whatever. They say, I want to fight, but then it's, so you got to figure that out, Richardson. So, but you got some power now because they say people hate you or love you. And since they hate you, you got to figure out a way to make it work for you to get these fights across the line. So you in a good spot to where people don't like it. They want to see you lose. So either now you can even maneuver, which is some things we're going to be talking about today. You can maneuver like everybody else been maneuvering, or you can figure out a way to get, like, I can't tell you take less money because nobody's taking less money. I tell somebody taking less money, you get the whole, you can't tell the fighter what his value's worth. So he's officially became, one of the most hated, man. You got to make that work for you, Richardson. You got to make it work for you. Your coach is not really unknown. I like Coach Lenny. He's funny as shit to me. He a real dude, man. I see people, I know that energy. Like Coach Lenny is like pretty, no disrespect, but he like the common man. He like people that I see and talk to. Like, I'll be stopped somewhere and I'll be talking about, we'll have a long, good conversation because of the energy and how he is. He not all uppity and all that. You could sit down and, like, you could be on the corner rapping the taste with him for a little while, you know what I'm saying? Get a couple laughs, couple jokes, get a couple jewels about life, and then move on. That's what you got. You and Coach Lenny need to put y'all head together and figure out how you can make this hate work for you. Almost kind of like in the sense how Devin make it work. Almost kind of in the sense how Tank kind of make it work. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of make this hate work for you. But it's official. Number 2. Devin is back searching through the AARP magazine and junior colleges for his next opponent. Now, this is why I wanted Brian Norman to win the fight. I wanted Brian Norman to win the fight because this is going to tie into what a guy was just talking about. People blame him for not fighting the winner of Brian Norman and Devin Haney. But guess what? If Brian Norman would have won, I'm guaranteeing you we would have saw Brian Norman Jr. and Richardson Hitchens. I'm guaranteed. But guess who won? Devin Haney won. But he get the privilege of being able to go fight Davy Crocker. He's going Steve Irwin style, the crocodile hunter. He crocodile hunting. And Richardson Hitchens get blamed for that fight not happening. He said he want the winner. Like, so whose job? So let me get it. We'll get this right. Richardson Hitchens was supposed to send Devin Haney an offer for his strap. Or is the A side and the money man and all these other glowing things, Devin was supposed to, like, how would that supposed to work? But Richardson getting blamed for that fight not happening too. But Devin won and ain't been no talk. Even though that he got a whole list. And Richardson Hitchens, he wasn't even really on the main list. He was an honorable mention on the list. But it's still Richardson Hitchens' fault that he didn't get the Devin Haney. Meanwhile, Devin Haney he tried to double back and get Rolly. When Jamal Charlo actually told Rolly, hey man, go ahead and fight Devin, and Bill shitted on him, told him he was all kind of with you, an alcoholic. He said, you an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? His whole clan jumped on Jamal for telling him to go get Devin, and they tried to double back to Rolly. Rolly was like, nah, you need to fight your rematch with Ryan. And I don't condone what Rolly said. Rolly should have went ahead and got her on with Devin. He should have went ahead and went in there and like tried to do whatever he could do with Devin. He should have did it, but he didn't want it. He go over to Lewis Crocker, who nobody want to see that fight. But people they'll talk to they blue in the face, talk about how belts don't matter. So if they don't, then why the fuck we not putting our foot on Devin's neck for trying to go get Davy Crocker? For trying to be the second coming of Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. So he looking for senior citizens because they trying to get Manny Pacquiao. I just heard, like, even though they was shitting on Virgil Ortiz for even thinking about getting a big payday with Earl when he come back, even though I don't necessarily think Earl should come back. They were saying Devin should move up and get a shot at Earl. So it's Manny Pacquiao, Earl Spence, Davy Crocker, Rolly Romero. It's like, this is why I wanted Brian Norman to win. Why? Because Brian Norman was going to be a people's champ. It wasn't about necessarily his skill set. It was about the mindset, that old school, almost like David Benavidez, who ain't trying to down no smoke, who's wanting to seek all the smoke. You say you want to fight him, he gonna make it happen. That's how I think Brian Norman was moving. He suffered a defeat. He got shocked. I think the stage got a little bit too big. Lights got a little bit too bright. And it was a deficit with the footwork. Maybe it was levels. I'll be a hindsight in 2020 is in that, because I was shocked and appalled with what Devin did with Brian Norman. Made him put his hands in his pocket for a minute. But that's why I wanted Brian Norman to win, because this is what we was going to get. Devin was going to go back to doing that shit that he do, where he picking old people, he picking inexperienced people, he picking everybody but the killers. Because it's a reason why it was Ryan got his shit busted, got his pack busted by Ryan, weight catch, not even a real 140, 143 or some shit with Jose Ramirez, did the Flash Gordon, and then jumped to 47. All the killers. The Sabril Matiz, he don't get none of the shit that Richardson Hitchens getting. But Sabril Matiz, the Gary Antoines, the Frank Martins, he don't get none of that. So good luck on that next opponent, man. But as much crow I had to eat for Devin doing what he did to Brian Norman, I'm back to being disappointed. I'm not even gonna shit on Devin no more, like that, because it's just I'm just over it, man. I put too much energy into trying to put a message out to try to curve Devin and try to make him do something that's gonna. I guess he gave me the Devin. I mean, he gave me the Brian Norman fight, something that I didn't think he was ever going to do, and then he did what he did to Brian Norman. But like, it just, I don't want to waste no more energy like trying to like force Devin to do some shit that we all think he should do for the kind of praise and the glory that everybody give him. It's like, make me want to dry heave, man. On the flip side, you got somebody like Tyson Fury in the housekeeping 3. And Fabio Wardley growing legs. So you got a man like Tyson Fury who got resurrected by Deontay Wilder, He pulled him up off the couch. Drugs and overweight and out of shape and, you know, heavily retired. Deontay Wilder picked him up, blew him off, breathed life back into his career. He do what he do to Deontay Wilder. He get a statue for what he did. Whole career get resurrected. Multiple paydays. He the talk of the town. He's the darling of the heavyweight division for a moment. For a moment. Then a guy named Usyk come by and he eclipsed all of that shit. Send him back to the Badlands. And he's starting to get that itch again. And he's not doing what Usyk did. And we're going to talk about that tonight, because it's befitting of the topic. But he's talking about fighting one of the young, hungry killers who they compare. Not it's comparable, meaning that he don't have all the boxing skills that Wilder had. Just like Wilder, he didn't have all the boxing skills, but he do have a devastating right hand. Probably not as nuclear as Deontay Wilder's right hand, but a big right hand nevertheless. It can change the complexion of the fight, i.e. his last two fights. It's devastating. Tyson Fury talking about coming back to get that, and meanwhile we got Devin looking in the AARP magazine and going to junior colleges looking for his next opponent. I can't make this shit up. I just gotta go with the lay of the land and what's coming and what's being afforded to me to come out with this stuff. This is just how I see boxing. So if this man can come get a young, hungry killer, a guy who says, listen, Usyk said if Joseph Parker would have won, he would have got that fade. But since Fabio Wardley won, he's like, nah, you can have the belt. And here you got Tyson Fury and Fabio Wardley fight. Growing legs. I hear they in negotiations, so the legs is getting ready to grow some hair. And the hair getting ready to get some ticks on it. It's about to be a real motherfucking thing. That's the kind of energy we need. And I'm not by far. How many videos you ever seen me do about Tyson Fury? None. So I'm not a Tyson Fury fan if y'all think that. I just like the energy. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's going on in boxing, man. That's the housekeeping, man. We can get into the meat and potatoes. Travis Bryant, Tank, bout 3. Salute for coming in the building. I don't know what that is. Keyshawn is exciting. I know how you feel. But that's the housekeeping, y'all. What y'all got about the housekeeping before we get into the what the fuck is a duck talk?
Well, as far as Hitchens is concerned, at this particular point, you don't put in the foundation, whether it was voluntary or involuntary, but the foundation is there. Whether or not you notice it and be able to build upon it, that's up to you. You're already the villain to a certain degree, because way back when I felt kind of awkward saying it, but it was that colorism shit that I've always felt with Richardson Hitchens to a certain degree.
It is.
You feel what I'm saying? So if I was to hindsight the shit out of that, I'm saying that shit is aging like, you know, level Wagyu certified five star in, you know, the German dry ager machine. That shit is looking good, pristine, and tasting really well. So I just hope that Hitchens can start to make the fights, get over this fight that they, you know, if you're looking for something to stay busy, accept the criticism you're gonna get. Lean into that shit.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? Lean into that shit heavy. In fact, take all of that criticism, go to a printer and have them make a print for you, and you get some downtown Brooklyn or Fulton Street or Pickens Ave, you get some special kicks made. You feel what I'm saying? And that's how you do that, bro. Other than that, do you. You know how it is out here in Brooklyn. You got to do you, because anybody and everybody talking shit about you all day long, every day, especially when you're doing it. as far as Devin, this whole thing is kind of turning out to be a disappointment because I think you waited way too long to get up to 47, get yourself acclimated and get in the mix to whereas you would have been here to get like the big names when the big name before the big some of these big names got losses. So it's a bittersweet thing because I've been calling for years for you to move up to 47. And basically, it was basically 1.5 or 1.25 challenges. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any other champion at 147 beating you. Because at the end of the day, all the other champions, with the exception of Rolly, are boxers. And they're not going to outbox you. So I don't really know how this works. I don't really know all the talk of being undisputed at the weight class, how that's going to work, because you might not get any credit for it. They're going to be like, look at the pool of opposition that was there. Everybody that was there was an email champion. So when you look at it, that shit may not age really well. So you might want to put yourself in a position to just say, you know what? I've already done something. Let me make some big fights, and then when things start to settle, then I could look at a division to whereas if I put together another run at Undisputed, it makes sense, and it's a plus for me. Last, Tyson Fury and Fabio Wardley, I have no issues with that. When I see fighters making moves like Tyson Fury's doing, like Dev did, like Shakur's doing, fighting T.O., you kind of reignite the fact that, you know, I may have been a fan of yours at one point. I may have been on the verge of being a fan of yours at one point. But when I see you doing shit like this, that says, yeah, I could get behind you, bro. Because, you know, to quote one of the youngest rising stars in boxing right now, to me, that shows a real appetite for smoke. So that's where I'll land that plane.
Word.
Man, when it comes to Africa, man, I feel like outside of him being Devin Haney 2.0, that's the problem. That's about it. When it comes to Africa, like Devin Haney 2.0, kind of feel like to me, kind of built the same, kind of fight the same, talk a lot of trash, but you're not even, you ain't scratched the surface of the level of stardom that you should. And I just think that's what it is with Africa, even though he got a belt. And for some reason, he's looked at as the weakest champion, but ain't nobody really running over there to fight him. But there's, I hear things like people just don't like him. It's just that bad. So you won't get no fight because they ain't trying to put no money in your pocket. They don't like you. So when it comes to him, that's that. Dev, you gonna have to figure out something. I mean, I heard somebody talking about Jack Catterall, but I get the Turk got a lot of money, but you're already on the contract. If I'm about to give you $14 million, it's got to be worth something.
Yeah, you gotta earn your keep, right?
Word. So that's why I'll leave it at that.
What you think about Fury and Wardley if that happened?
Good fight, but 50-50 fight because Fury been out and Wardley's a tough bastard.
All right.
Yeah.
You got anything, Melazar, on this before we get into the what the fuck is a duck?
Oh yeah, what we're talking about. How you doing, guys? So long, my God.
Welcome back, man.
Bro, I still have a little ear infection and stuff that I'm dealing with, but damn, bro. Whew. Anyway, which one we're talking? Hitchens?
Yeah, I know you don't like him. We could save
No,
that.
but
I
no,
know.
I'm gonna leave all that stuff out. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna go emotional on him or cultural stuff and stuff. But the problem, Hitchens. The problem, one, is not a fan favorite style. Yeah, maybe a media style like Mali Nagy, all these guys that wanna, but the fan, like I am.
mm-hmm.
It's not a style that made me say, "Oh my God, let me pay $50 just to watch him fight." You know, like have to be a full core, and maybe when he fight, I just turn it off because, yeah, whatever. He's just gonna jab, 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 and get a decision, whatever. Like that's what Mayweather did to me. Like Mayweather took away me want to watch boxing. Like my last fight was Mayweather versus Juan Manuel Marquez. After that, I say I'm not watching boxing ever again. Then Matias brought me back. Like so he already fought in New York, in Vegas, in a couple places. His draws are not there. So then you're gonna put a Jermaine Ortiz, another guy that don't call up people. Yes, he got a name because he fought Teofimo and run 12 round and whatever. Some people say that not getting hit, now you win the fight, but Teofimo was the champion, and you have to be you have to beat the champion to become champion. Like school, yeah, he survived 12 round with Canelo, but he don't connect punches. So how you expect to win? So, and that's going in a lot of people's mind. So then that's me. This is my thought. Like, if he thought that having a title, his value will rise, no, because the title don't make the champion make the title, right? So yes, you can have a title, but if you don't have a fan base that come and see you, and then you're gonna ask this money, that how I gonna pay you this money if you don't bring these people to the stadium, or make them buy or make them buy pay-per-views or streaming, whatever. You don't make them spend money on you. What are you gonna pay you this amount? That's the calculation, promoter calculation and stuff. So, and then you put Jamir Ortiz, that he don't bring people. He got another style that is not fan favorite. Oh my God, you got Teofimo and Shakur. Shakur, yeah, he have a good performance with El Camarón Cepeda, but that was his own. That's, people still have memories of the other fight. Like with Matias, people still have PTSD, even me sometimes, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't fuck it up. ¿Tú me entiendes? So we the fan, we still having couple fights before that we are like, I don't know what he gonna do. Let me see this fight. If he do this fight, maybe the next one I back him up. But Hitchens don't have that track record. His fan base is not there. You cannot ask that money. So if I can make another name that bring more people, don't have a title, but bring access to the chairs, okay. And it's gonna be cheaper because it's not a title, so I don't have to pay fees to nobody. Okay, let's do it. So that's what I see it. Like because it's your fan base is the value. Like look, Matias says he's the only guy in that whole court that worth a penny, because we know Smith don't worth nothing, and the whole court under him, and then the good one that people was trying to watch, Ojo and Henry, the two Dominicans, now that got canceled too. So it's a lot of weight, but he's more, if he sold 3,000 shares, my God, Ojo, you sold 3,000 by yourself without no help of a core or an opponent, that's a win. Period. On my eyes, that's a win. But
Lazar, real quick though. Emmanuel Rodriguez, I like that little guy too though.
Yeah, but we know him as hardcore, Emmanuel, but these are not names. Like look, Teofimo and Shakur core. You can see all those names, and everybody know those names because they're mainstream. The only name mainstream in that core is Subriel Matias. It is what it is. I'm gonna buy my pay-per-view. I exhort all people. You're gonna go buy that pay-per-view. You know, I know what I'm buying. I'm buying Subriel Matias. Period. I know. Okay, but Hitchens don't have that. Like if he's in a court by himself, he will not gonna have people that say, okay, I know your card suck, but I like you and I'm gonna buy it. Fuck it, just for you. No. And now you're gonna ask money, and more with the Turkey, Eddie Hearn, they're trying to make these huge cards, fan favorite cards. Hitchens don't fit in there.
Let me ask you something though, because this is the difference. Smoke said that he's Devin Haney 2.0, and I always say the difference between Richardson Hitchens, it's a couple differences. But the main difference between Richardson Hitchens and Devin Haney is opportunity. See, Devin got the opportunity to fight Brian Norman, and because he beat Brian Norman, Richardson Hitchens don't get the chance to fight Brian Norman. But knowing the boxing style, knowing that he can box, he's a skillful boxer, he got great feet. We could have got the same result. He might have even if he would have did what Devin did, he probably would have tried to finish him because
Hitchens have more a finisher style. If he sees somebody injured, he will attack. It's not like Devin that will pull back 12 rounds.
So hear me out. Devin went 24 rounds with Kambosos. Richardson Hitchens stopped him in what, 6 or 7? And the difference is Devin be getting these opportunities. Richardson Hitchens don't. So we can't like to say he's not exciting or whatever. It's like we gotta give him, like we gotta see Keyshawn get in there with him. We gotta see him in there with Frank Martin. We gotta see him in there with these.
I understand that. These guys. I'm gonna put you two. One, Devin Haney is what? The American dream, right? Hitchens, how they call him? Africa. They even call. We know he's not American, he's a Haitian, but what is his nickname? Africa. You feel me? 2, Haney have the media support because it's not the fans. We don't support Haney. Like, you know, the Haney's are small people from California and the whole media. So that's why Hitchens don't have the media. Hitchens don't have fans. Hitchens, you know, and it's Africa. It's not even Richard, it's Africa. Cabrón, and you're from Haiti and they call you Africa?
Yeah, because I don't know if you understand that part of why he's called Africa.
Because he's dark.
But yeah, that's it. So don't feed that much.
But what happened was the Caribbean people, our dark skin come from the Caribbean because the native of the Caribbean was black as hell because it's 365 days of sun. So that's for like all the Caribbean people,
I know named Flacco. I know 2 American dudes named Flacco.
I know, but I'm telling you, yes, I understand why the Americans call him Africa. I understand. But 2, why the Caribbeans are like, what? What, bro? For real? You're going to let them call you like that? ¿Me entiende? That's people from Trinidad, Tobago, people from Jamaica. Oh, not just the Puerto Ricans. No, I'm telling you, like it's like that. So, but forget all of that. The problem is he don't have media. He don't have a strong fan base. And he's with the British, like, Mushroom, mira. Boots Ennis, he's a champion? No, what is he? An interim champion. The only title Eddie Hearn got is the one from Hitchens because they won it from Subriel because he won it in PVC, you know? Then they brought it here, and that's the only title, legit title they got. And Shakur, because he brought his title, but now he's in 140, and that title don't belong to Mushroom because he is still female, and that's Bob Arum. ¿Me entiendes? So he don't got shit. He always sells smoke, but he never have nothing. So it's hard for Hitchens. Like if you don't have the media backing you up, if you don't have a fan base backing you up, and you don't have a promoter that go the extra mile for you, doesn't matter if you have a title or not, you're not gonna fight.
You drive a hard bargain. I can't argue with you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm taking the race. I'm taking that I don't like him or whatever. Or I'm taking all of that. I'm just looking at it as a business point. You know, like let me. Because forget, I don't like a lot of boxers that a lot of people like and they're good, and I don't like him just because and whatever. I'm taking all that out. I'm just like, what is going on? Because Haney, we know Haney don't bring fans. Like Haney versus Ryan Garcia, that was in the Barclays Center, and that place was empty. They have to give away seats to the ex boxers and stuff like that. They even put Roy Jones Jr. in the chair when he was a coach in one of those fights, and that card was empty. But they have the media support, so everybody watch it, But the place was empty, but they got media support. Like Matias don't have that media support, but he got a strong fan base. If we don't show up, we show up. We buy tickets, we buy pay-per-view. If not, we are in the web, or we're making noise everywhere. So he have something like, oh man, I got this to sell, to bargain. But he changed right now, and I'm not telling you change your game plan, or I don't know, like what he have to do. But yeah, a little bit of more action. I don't know. It's his style. He's with Eddie Hearn, so
he just got to find a way to get the fight over the hump. That's really because he can't. There's nothing he can really. His style is his style. His look is his look. I mean, he got to talk. He got to talk.
Yeah. Hey,
but so he just got to get the fights across the line and perform when he get the opportunity. That's all he really can do. I'm not gonna harp on it though.
But the problem, the trash talking that he did, that I think a lot of fans didn't like too, is he like Haney, they want to diminish their opponent. Like, bro, how you gonna diminish your opponent? If you diminish your opponent, then you diminish your victory. Like how you gonna call Lemos a demon and then he give you that fight? How you gonna call people? Oh no, they're so why you wanna fight them is they're not that good. So go and fight somebody. What happened with him and Matias still in some fans, mind. Not just the Puerto Rican, other that saw, and I don't know. He have to, and you know what? Be humble. Like to say when he fought for the Turkey court in ring 3, I don't make that much money, but I wanted that title. So F it. I made some sacrifice now to later on I can have a big meal. But I cannot be thinking, oh, let me get big meals without sacrifice. Yes, you have the title, but maybe you don't cash out that good, but you are in a card that every gonna see you perform and you give another knockdown. People want to keep watching you and then gonna make more interest on you. That is the point. Being in this card that everybody gonna watch. It's way better than a paycheck in my eyes, but I know he need to eat and he's a boxer. This is his job.
Word, I got you. I feel you like I said, you drive it's right and exact. You got a good sound perspective. I like that you stick to your guns. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of valid points there. But let's get into the meat and potatoes, man. This is something that's been on my mind because a lot of people be labeling people ducks, and they get away with it because people just want to band together and feel good about something. So if it's just he's a duck,
oh yeah,
they want to do that without
right away, right away. People want to scream duck without knowing what.
Yeah, so I got a couple of things, man. It's gonna be good, man. So at least this will be a template for shows to come, and people are gonna have the conversation. They take the conversation anyway, so I'm over it. But look, this is the thing. There's a call out, right? When it's a call out, is there an offer made? Yes or no? If no, what terms discussed? Yes or no? If no, it's not a duck. So if a call out was made, there was no offer, and no terms were discussed, by any stretch of the imagination, it's not a duck. If yes, then negotiate the fight. So once you're negotiating the fight, are the terms agreed to? Yes or no? If yes, and then somebody renege, that's a duck. If no, move on. That's not a duck. Y'all didn't come to terms. Y'all decided to part ways. Move on. So that's the standard as far as
anybody can come.
Who's that, Malazar?
Yeah, you got background noise.
Yeah, that was me. My bad.
All right, so I'm gonna go over it again. Somebody make a call out, because often we do this. Somebody make a call out. Oh, he called him out. You see, he called him out. Anybody can call anybody out. I've been, as a Tank fan, I've been through this. Everybody and their mother. Even Sean Zattel had this dude. I think this dude was like 41-0. He went over there on that what's that, Combat League, got his ass waxed. And he was saying, yeah, you deserve a fight with Tank. I'm like, don't nobody even know, like, how'd you buffer that record like that? Like, you can do that. You get managed right, and you take your time. You got somebody that's gonna have some money that's gonna match you like that to get you up to like 40 fights and no losses against, like, I don't know how they was doing that. They said he needed a shot at Tank. So I understand the whole call out. Yeah, I called him out. I said his name. You heard? You know, yeah, he called. Yeah, y'all hear that? He called. That's not a, like, just because somebody get called out, that's not a duck. Was there an offer? So after the call out, was there an offer made? Yes or no? If you say no, okay, were terms discussed? If they were not discussed, it's not a duck. Move on. If terms were discussed, then okay, negotiate the terms. And too often we get it to where somebody say, I got a couple examples. Virgil, let's say Oscar and them, they say 10 million off the rip. Okay, that's part of negotiation. We know that's high, like for your market value. You know who sent when a certain individual say 10, depending on who they are, we know that's high. And if anything is discussed out in the public and the media and all that, you don't negotiate in the media. 9 times out of 10, you bluffing. Okay, so somebody say 10. Richardson Hitchens for Keyshawn, he said 2.5. Keyshawn said 2. So they were talking about 4.5 million for that fight, and I think both of it was absurd. But it's like, okay, if that was Richardson Hitchens aiming high, okay, cool. One, Turkey got money that he was throwing away for big fights. People would have wanted to see that, like, you know, so it could have been made. So maybe, I don't know, man. That might have been a $1.5-2 million fight altogether, like at this stage. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? With Richardson, since he had the belt, or them splitting it pretty much. I don't know. But like Richardson come out and say 2.5, oh, you pricing yourself out. Ortiz come out and say 10 million. It's like, oh, well, you know, his market value and all this, and you got a market that's going to argue that shit. But like, okay, negotiate that shit. Too often do we hear a number, and me and AC been joking about this last couple episodes about how even with the Schofields coming out with an outrageous number. Now that was like outrageous. 10 to 50. He know that's outrageous. Like, well, he been listening, but like people gonna think that out off the rip is so absurd that they're not even gonna want to negotiate you. It's like, you a space cadet. I'm not talking to a nigga in space. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to a nigga that got his feet on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Preferably hugging a tree. Not out in space in La La Land. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm about to pull my head out or try to come over there and have somebody knock your teeth out for wasting my time. So, if somebody makes a call out, the next step is whether or not an offer was made. If yes, okay, cool, negotiate. If no, okay, discuss terms. Was terms discussed? No. Okay, automatically that's not a duck. If terms were discussed, okay, cool. Come see eye to eye on the terms. If y'all agree on the terms, hoorah, we got to fight. If y'all don't, part ways, revisit later on, do whatever. That is not a duck. That's how that goes. Now, there are different types of ducks. There's really like 6 types of ducks. These are the ducks. You got a strategic duck. That's like, you can say, I got a couple examples. I'm gonna go over the definition. I'm gonna show y'all some illustrate. We're gonna talk about it. But you got a strategic duck. Indian runners. That's the type of duck that is. Change promotional companies. That's called a bufflehead. Number 3, faking an injury. That's a mallard duck. Number 4, a price out. That's a Muscovy Drake. Number 5, picky terms. All these little nitpick. Now, yeah, I need a pack of Kool-Aid. I need you to rub, you know, so I need to reach around every Wednesday and every Thursday. I need to reach around. I need a happy ending on Sundays. Like all these like crazy terms, you know what I'm saying? Like us pintails. That's what that is. Fearful. Just straight out. That's the most common one. Like it might be an ass whooping. Like we all know that you scared to take that work. You scared to get that work. That's what that is. And then you got number 7, which is an add-on. That's why I got an asterisk by it. That's like a rare instance to where it's like, it's a special circumstances. It's not common, but it's something where it's like, yeah, he pretty much duck. But that like the basis of it, that's all. You got strategically because you want to do this. So by doing this, like people could say a while ago, people could say, even though I don't see how, but I'm gonna say what people be saying. They say that Earl strategically ducked Bud because he said, I'm gonna clear out my side of the street, and then when I'm done over here, I'm gonna go over there. Like, so if you want to call that any kind of a duck, it would have to be strategic because he's not really ducking him. He's getting all the belts on his side, which he went on to do. So it really, in hindsight, it really wasn't a duck because he did what he said he was going to do. So that's one. Another, and I got a different example. Change your promotional companies. You can say that when Andre went and did what he did now, in his defense, Andre went from this side over here with PBC and he went over there to Matchroom. And he was thinking, shit, I got Gennady Golovkin over here, I got Canelo over here, I'm gonna get one of these. They wound up doing the trilogy. He ain't get nothing but a European tour. You know what I'm saying? He had to come back to PBC, and that's when he got David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? And he got Damon Nicholson from Laurel, Maryland. So change the promotional. You can say what Shakur did. He had a belt. There was 2 other belts on his side. It was 1 belt over there on PBC. He leave to a promotional company where it's 2 other belts on his side. It was Loma and then what? Baranchek, Navarrete, the winner of Baranchek, Navarrete, who went on to be Keyshawn. Those belts was on his side. He could have did the Errol Spence right there on his side. He goes over to Matchroom where there are no belts. He don't go over there where Tank is. He don't stay where he at, but he changed promotional company. That's called a bufflehead duck. That's a type of duck. We went over to Fearful. Muscovy Drake. That's let me start showing you the illustrations so we can talk about this shit. These are the types of ducks right here.
But the crazy thing is, when you really look at all of those names, for one fight, you got one dude that fits damn near half of them shits.
We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Cause I got something. Y'all gonna laugh. Hold on.
You always have good stuff.
Cause look, people look, this is how it is. Okay, so what I was just talking about, the Muscovy Drake. This is the Muscovy Drake. This is Canelo Alvarez asking David Benavidez for 200. I want 200 million to fight David Benavidez. And the only reason why I use Canelo, because that was the most outrageous one. Well, him and what Schofield saying, the 10 to 50 mil. Because if you think about it, Bud just got 50 and he fought Canelo, but then Canelo wants 200. I think that what Floyd did, asking for 10 to 50 mil to fight any one of the champions at 135 at lightweight, it's just as outrageous as Canelo Alvarez wanting 200 million to fight David Benavidez.
Yeah,
like that's the price out. Like that's a flat out. You can't. And this is one of the most common ones where they say they price themselves out. Like a lot of times, I don't think so. I think that when you do an outrageous number like that, like yeah, that's straight up price out. That means to where it's like I'm not even going to try to negotiate. Like you a space cadet. I think a lot of people start off with a big number just for you to negotiate. I aim high, you go low, we meet in the middle somewhere. So if I'm asking for 10, then I'm saying, okay, I want to land between 5 and 7. You know what I'm saying? That's where I kind of want to land. You know, I mean, So I don't be alarmed. I don't be like, oh man, he probably somebody say 10 million. I'm like, oh man, fuck it, we ain't getting that fight. You fucking duck. I don't do that. But that's the price. That's the price out.
Yeah, but I understand it. You know, I understand why and why, because Benavidez never had those accolades. Like he was calling Canelo out with 17 fights and an interim title. You know, with our big baggage of name. Like what in the hell, me Canelo Alvarez, the champion in so many divisions, the one who hold the full belt, gonna fight with this kid that is so hungry and he's a giant, when I can make other fights and make the same amount of money and not that amount of punishment.
But
some people criticize Crawford, and I was like, if Canelo want to pass the baton, who is better than Crawford that had all those accolades in all the other division and make more sense? Like yes, I know people want to see Benavidez versus Canelo, you know, he's a big guy, nobody's defeating this small. So yeah, but actually, do you want like? And I understand why I'm not in favor because I'm not a Canelo fan, but I can understand it business wise.
Here's the thing. If we're gonna look at it from the business perspective, right? The business perspective says I can ask for 25 to 50 million to fight Benavidez. For where people are saying Benavidez is not, just like you just said, he doesn't have that many great accolades, it's yada yada yada, compared to Canelo Alvarez. So at the end of the day, you get 50 million for what is perceived to be an easy fight for you. Business wise, Crawford is the number one guy. I don't remember any point in David Benavidez's career where he was a number one pound for pound guy, or just like just in that sphere. So if we look at the threat assessment, Bodywork will tell you that that's military term. You look at the threat assessment. Yes, the smaller guy is coming up. But when you talk about ring IQ and you put down all the tangibles, what is his weaponry? What is his strategy? Where do they have their foothold? Is our intel 100% correct on this guy? If your intel is 100% on correct on Terence Crawford, when you weigh it out, David Benavidez versus Terence Crawford, the more money is in a Terence Crawford fight. But if we're looking at it the way people are saying, Benavidez might be the easier target to get. He's the least threat assessment.
But
if you lose to him, you lost to Benavidez. If you lose to Bud, which he did, you lost to the smaller guy coming up, and he took all your belts, including your lineal.
But what is, if you know you're gonna lose with both, but you're gonna lose with an uppercomer that don't have a lot of accolades, or you're gonna lose with somebody that is called the best pound per pound in the business and have a lot of accolades? Yeah, he's going for 2 divisions down, but we know he was a big guy anyway. So who you prefer to lose? To a kid that don't have that much accolades, or to one of the best pound for pound in the game right now by all the media and stuff?
Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty much the soft landing though, Malazar. You giving the soft landing, and Earl didn't get that. He didn't get the benefit. And nobody said, "Oh man, they're number one pound for pound." They said, "No, Earl
you
was
always
trash."
do that.
Oh shit!
I am that boy.
He said a soft landing. Well, I say
I
it
always,
like this.
you know, I am that one.
I'll say it like this. I don't need it. It's simple for me. Yeah, I'm gonna lose to either one, ass whooping or knockdown. Ass whooping.
You know, 12th round instead of being knocked down in 6th round.
Bro, man, as a boxer, I don't want to get my ass whipped for 12 rounds by some nigga that I can barely touch, and then when I go in to shoot one of my power punches, he was just there Now he's not there, and then he hit me with some shit that I had to turn away and be, motherfucker, what was that?
It already happened with Mayweather. Mayweather took him to school, so for him was like, okay, I'm gonna go with another Mayweather.
But Floyd never hit. We never seen Canelo make that face when Floyd and Bivol hit him. That nigga just looked at him like, bruh, you are. Hey, listen, man. How many of you motherfuckers jump me? If you go back to that Kevin Hart shit, or it's just two of y'all in the ring with me, so y'all just gonna decide to jump me right now.
Bro,
That
I'm gonna be
kind
real
of
with y'all,
look that
man. He
Canelo
really,
had, bro.
I
I'm
mean,
joking,
like,
but
he had real confidence. Like he really thought that he could beat.
I'm joking, but just to stay.
No, he really thought he could beat Bud. He, like that's one thing. He really thought that he was gonna be able to catch him and break him down, and it was gonna be that. And when it wasn't that, and he saw that Bud took a good shot from him, and it kept coming, he was like, "Oh, this is gonna be one of them nights that I ain't had in a long time." But
he thought he could beat Bivol too.
Yeah.
He went in there. He
won 75.
Their threat assessment. Now they dead on with Benavidez. Like they like we not like they told him red alert on Benavidez.
Yeah.
With them other two, with Bud and with Bivol, it was like it was apparent that their threat assessment level and what they thought they was going into, they didn't have they didn't corral that shit.
Like,
but if you look at Canelo's 3 losses,
we get our ass kicked. That's the worst case scenario. We get our ass kicked right around. But this guy could be that boy. And it's another thing too. I don't think that I mean, and I get it. Canelo not gonna pass him the torch.
Well, he passed it to Crawford, and then Crawford let go the titles.
No, I don't mean that torch. I don't mean that torch. I'm talking about that.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking. He's not gonna, because he don't see Benavidez as Mexican, because he's from New Mexico, you know, he's American.
He's Julio, but he's still
Ecuadorian. He Ecuadorian.
Yeah,
Mexican.
But whatever the media say, we're not gonna get there. But yeah, I understand that torch. Yeah, he was not gonna pass it to Benavidez. Hell no.
There's nobody else, man. And Julio still fought Oscar. And he from East LA.
And you can see, Mira, the 3 losses of Canelo, who is Mayweather, Bivol, that okay, but he was in 175 pounds. We can take that like them. You went way too up, you know. 68 was the max, so está bien. And who? Crawford. So if you later in his history and you look those 3 losses, you are like, well, he lost to the best of the best. But you having a Benavidez, an up and comer, and defeat you, and you can maybe be knocked down. No, that don't look good for a legacy, you know. Look, Trinidad, our
we
guy.
started almost like Canelo apologist, and I'm not a Canelo apologist.
No, I'm not apologist. I'm just looking at the other way, like with Trinidad. I'm telling for that. Like he got 3 losses, but against who? Bernard Hopkins, and he was 10-year champion already in 160, and it was huge. Winky Wright, a young up-and-comer, and Roy Jones Jr. And the 3 of them are in the Hall of Fame. So you're like, well, okay, he lost to, you know. But if you put over there,
that's fine and Danny.
Hold on. Did Tito lose the Oscar?
No, Tito beat Oscar. That was the fight of the millennium. It was a 12 round. What happened? Oscar didn't throw a punch in the first 3, and then in the was a close fight. And he won it. Some people, no robbery. I watched it like 4 months ago. Anyway, forget that. But
yeah, because the subject is we talking about ducks. So I just used it. So I got a couple more of these. So I don't want to get off into
Let's go
these guys in there like their personal history, because this is the beginning of 2026. And people are going to be having these conversations about what a duck is. We went over how it should go based on the call out and what's a duck and what's not a duck verbally. But we're going over some examples that we can pigeonhole these things, and we can be right and exact when we talk about what kind of duck that is. That was just the price out. Those are the
price out duck.
Floyd Schofield
and strategic duck.
that was the Muscovy Drake. This one.
And I like how you say the one that call out people, but they're not ready. Like, you know, like let's see, Javonta, right? And I'm a boxer, and I just have 10 fights. Okay, I won't by knockout and say, yeah, I want to fight Javonta and stuff like that. But who are you, bro? You just got 10 fights. Nobody. Oh, Javonta is docking. Who is docking? A 10-fight guy that just have a knockout?
And you'll have people out here saying, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. It's like in the grand scheme of things, yeah, you're supposed to want to fight the best, but like, let's be realistic. You wasting the call out when you win a fight, and it's not realistic that you're going to get that fight next. Like, it's a waste of a call out. Call out somebody realistic that's available in and around your weight class, somebody that's on your radar, somebody that could put you further up the top, somebody who you might got a beef with, something like that. Not just a blind, oh yeah, after my first fight, I want to fight Usyk. Like, come on, man. But this is the next
call them tick. In Spanish, I call them tick or leeches, you know, because they always want to be attached to somebody so their career can jump. Bro, do it in your way. Knock people out, win crowds, and then make the call out.
Yeah, this one is the next one, man. This is the mallard. This is the fake injury. You know what I'm saying? My neck and my back, Diesel style. Like, you know, Schofield, he basically, that's what he did with Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was all on the table. It was, the money was set, the venue was set. It was days before the fight. He pulled out with an injury. And then here recently, he did it again. He just did another pullout. And who was he supposed to fight?
Jojo Diaz. And then they were saying the whole hand brace, oh, it was on this side and it was on this side. I could have put Usyk on here because they say Usyk did this last year and they found him out there dancing and kicking. He kind of get a reprieve because he's like the apex predator and what he was able to do. So people ain't gonna go hard. But I got an example of him too. Now, that is this one. Strategic duck, Indian runners is what we call them. See, the strategic duck is like what he said, what I spoke about earlier, how if Joseph Parker would have won, he said he would have fought him. But Fabio Wardley won. And he didn't want to fight Fabio Wardley, so he just dropped his belt. Now, given his legacy and what he got going on and all that, it's a strategic duck. Because pound for pound, like he's the, you know, I'm doing a 10 plus one. I got my top 10 pound for pound, and my plus one is whoever I think the best heavyweight is. So in the plus one, he's the plus one. Usyk is the guy at heavyweight division right now until proven otherwise. There are some other guys that are on their way or show flashes of brilliance and like look like, okay, he might give him a run for the money or whatever, you know, or he got a shot, like he could actually do it. He catch him right, because we seen Dubois, even though they erased it, we seen Dubois hit him with that body shot and he went down, and they kind of let that fight go on. He wound up stopping him, but that fight was over with that body work. I don't care what nobody say. But in that situation in which it don't really benefit him, I guess, at this stage, because he's not in the same stage as Tyson Fury to go in there with that young hungry lion at this point. Because if he get knocked out, he gets slapped. Even though it's the heavyweight division, it could tarnish. It could do what Melazar was just trying to say about Canelo. It could tarnish. So that would be considered a strategic duck. Another strategic duck, if we had to put it on, it would be when because we got to think about this, and this is why I be trying to say people don't want to go. People want to. I heard somebody today and the other day, the last time they remixed this shit, they were saying, nope, I want to talk about today. I want to talk about right now. I don't care about yesterday. Well, yesterday, let's just say yesterday, Virgil Ortiz and them made you an offer. You know what you said? You said, no, I want to stay here and I want to get undisputed. At that point, that is a strategic duck. You know why? Because then you went on to get another belt against the Stanionis, and people were saying, well, by golly, by George, I think he do want to get undisputed. And so it was cool because you say, hey, listen, I got plans. I'm going to do this. Yeah, I got this belt. I'm going to get another one. And you wind up getting that one in the ring. Okay, cool. That's a strategic duck. So to double back
So right after that, to just jump up arbitrarily and say, all right, I'm at 154 now, even though we had been trying to tell you to do it, they were saying we was rushing Boots. Cause we all, me, Pop, AC, we always talk about, man, you need to go ahead and go on up. They was even saying, shit, if he really got some cojones, he need to jump up to 160 where he could really, you know what I'm saying, like he could probably take that over. And I was like, I don't know, y'all, but they, AC and Smoke, they used to always say that shit. And I was just saying, man, he just need to get out of 154 because I'm tired of him beating up these 40s, moving up, and these guys that really, I don't really see nobody really getting with him. So he jumps up. Then all of a sudden, when Virgil and them, because nobody knew what, but everybody thought that Boots was going to do what he said he was going to do. He's going for undisputed. So 154 was like, okay, cool. We got business. We starting to do this. Virgil started moving around and making moves, making matches. You know what I'm saying? Working on his cachet because he was just getting his legs back from the rhabdomyolysis shit. So when Boots jumped up and now all of a sudden they saying, oh, well now Virgil ducking, we like, hold on, man. We gave you an offer. This is what the team's saying. We gave you an offer and strategically because you had bigger plans in boxing and you was able to unify. Something that not only have I not had a belt, but you were able to unify. And that was cool because you were doing it for the business of boxing in your career. That's a strategic duck. So in that case, that's this kind of duck. By definition. Now we understand it, but that's the type. So it's not really frowned upon like that. It's just by definition, that's what it is. Because you had something you wanted to do. The same example I used about Earl. It's like, yeah, Earl wanted to consolidate all them belts over there and then see Bud in the last one. He wound up doing it. So was it a duck? It was at the time. If a fight could have been made and would have been made and all that, that's semantics. But what they're trying to say, because they always say, oh, well, Bud was Earl was ducking. No, he wasn't. And if he was, it has to fall in that category of strategic duck to where I got business, I got goals, I got dreams and aspirations, and I'm actually doing it. I'm actually getting this. So I'm not fighting you right now because I'm getting this. That's a strategic duck. So if you're going to call it a duck, be right about the terminology. That's what that is.
That's why I never had no real issue. And then when everybody was saying, oh, the Bud and Errol fight is not going to happen, I always knew it was going to happen because I was just like, bro, listen. Both of them know that they can't walk away from this fight. So if one guy is doing one thing, at the end of the day, and this is where I landed my plane, you know, from the optics of it and everything, I landed my plane in the strategic duck category. Because you could call it the strategic duck because he said, when Bud said, you and Keith Thurman went over there and Keith Thurman went over there, blah, 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 blah. And he said, well, I can go and knock out Sean Porter. So you can't tell me what moves my career had. You can't try to pigeonhole me, even with your promoter right there, to say, you know, I only have two options. He was like, no, I got Sean Porter. And in fact, after that, you know what, bro? Just to make the fight between me and you bigger, I'm going to go over here, collect all of these belts, show you my value because you talking big like that. Like, you know, I wouldn't be I'm just saying it like this. Right now, I don't like your energy because you're coming at me like you got so much leverage. So I'm going to go over here and do this. Build up my cachet, build up my bank account, and then we gonna see each other, and then we gonna go out and see who got the bigger bag, who got the biggest bank account. And that's how I kind of felt that it was a business decision and a strategic decision. Now, by the time the fight happened, can't nobody say, oh, yada, 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 because it was still an excellent fight in my opinion. So the outcome matched the energy leading up to it. So I say it like this. He did what's best for business, and he strategically moved to go collect the other belts to make the fight bigger. That's it. opinion, the perfect way to say, yeah, that's a strategic duck. And if you gonna strategically duck somebody, use the Errol Spence game
Yeah,
plan.
do it like that, but don't be like, yeah, I'm about to like, because when you change the plans, that's when it look kind of make it. That's when you give old fan bases and detractors and people that don't like you or people trying to bring you down. You know what I'm saying? Maybe fans of the ops. That's when you give them all the fuel they need to be like, nah, you was maneuvering. Like, that was a real maneuver because you didn't complete what you said you was going to do. You just did that to get out of the fight, and now you doubling it back, and now you want all these terms and this and this and that. I gotta consider all of that. That's why I'm not so gung ho about this conversation. Everybody want to keep revisiting. I mean, I know Virgil think Virgil know that that's an ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. He knew it when he said it was gonna be 4 years ago. I'm like, that's not new. Like, it's gonna take me 48 months or however long they said it. He knew it back when he said it. Everybody knew when he said that what it was. Like, okay, how much time? Like, what? If you was about that smoke and it was available to happen, then you and y'all could have made, okay, cool. So that was that back then. So we already knew what it was. Like 4 years later, we still arguing about what that is. It's a waste of time.
We're still in the strategic duck, right?
Yeah, we can wait and move on though.
No, because I got one. Like,
okay, go ahead.
You remember Fundora when he was a unified champion, WBO and WBC, and he prefers to drop the WBO for a rematch with Team Sue and Doc Sander Sayas because he was the #1 contender. He's supposed to face Sayas for that WBO, but he preferred to go for a rematch.
Yeah.
Instead of defending your title. So
yeah.
That's
by definition, that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? By definition, and they had unfinished business. So he did that. And yes, by definition, he did that. He did duck that man. Yep. That fits the criteria. It's a million different ones. We've been watching boxing for long enough. I'm sure we got plenty of examples, but yeah, that's what that is. So when you categorize them, it don't make it seem bad, like you just a horrible person. It was like, no, it's a reason why, and this is why I did this. Don't have nothing to do with who you think gonna win the fight or what you think was that. That's the terminology that we gotta use because that's what that is. That was a duck. That was strategic duck. That was spot on, Miller.
You may be gonna get paid more with Sue over there in Australia. I don't know. You know, it's business too in the, but you know, and you. It's how you say you cannot be calling dogs just because you want to call it dog without no explanation.
I got another one. Let's go to this one now. You was gonna say something, Smoke?
Nah, go ahead.
I got another one.
Bodywork always break it up so people can understand it.
This is a Bufflehead. Changing promotional companies. I went over that example, but I could have easily put Devin up here too. Because it was a point in time when Devin was with Showtime. He was a Showtime boxer. He was over there doing his thing. And then he went over there to Matchroom, and guess who he started calling out? Guess who he made his name, who he attached himself to? Guess what name he attached himself to and really got a lot of his clout off of? When he made that move.
Who?
So you can't be with Showtime, be a Showtime fighter, right? And then say, yeah, I want that smoke, and then you go over there to Matchroom, and then you just calling out a guy that's on PBC all the time. Like that is one of the biggest ones. That's some people do that. That's just like all of the smoke. Andre left Jermell Charlo like days before their fight. He just left him, but then not too long after that, I think that's when he joined Rock Nation. But then he went over there to Eddie, and he thought that what he was doing was good because he changed promotional companies. With all of the smoke that could have been had with PBC, he left. He basically jumped over that bridge. So it's like, once you do that, you can't really say all those guys over there are ducking me. When you had the opportunity to do what you do. Now I respect what he did because he went over the Matchroom and yeah, he was on Canelo's ass. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to get just like Maul. Maul was trying to get Triple G forever. Triple G would not fight Jamal Charlo, but he waited like 18 months to fight the dude from Japan. So that's a bufflehead. What Shakur did when he had his strap and Loma had a strap and what was that? Baranchek. That was the strap that was up for grabs that Baranchek wound up getting from Navarrete, a vacant with Navarrete, and then Keyshawn wound up coming by and taking that strap. Shakur was over there on a label, pretty much on a 3-man island where all 3 straps was over there. The only other strap was over there with the PBC and Tank. And everybody, all 3 of them, me and AC, we've had conversations about this in ad nauseum. We have records of Bob Arum say yes, he would make a fight with Shakur and Tank, with Loma and Tank, and with Tio and Tank. He said it. He's on wax. We talked about it. We got it. And that didn't happen. However, Shakur was over there on that label, on that side with all 3 of them. He did not go over to PBC because when they discussed whatever happened, whatever terms, y'all know the sequence of events. It was a bunch of call outs, and when terms were discussed and this was that and this whatever, if y'all didn't agree to terms and you walk away and you say you're gonna spin the block, at that point in time, it is not a duck. Y'all didn't come to no agreement. You didn't accept the terms. It wasn't mutually beneficial. You saw more value elsewhere, so you took you and all your devices and you went somewhere else. You went over to Matchroom. You told Eddie, do not try to make a fight with Tank. And that was that. That's technically, that's a bufflehead. That's what that is. By changing promotional companies, it's almost it's akin to the strategic duck. It's like, oh well, yeah, I'm going over here to this label, so it's almost like what Sabril did when he went over there to Matchroom. Even though I think he probably still could have got the fights with the Garys and all that, but like it's the same. Like, okay, well now you ain't with PBC no more. It's almost the same thing that happened with Boots, where he was moonlighting as a Showtime fighter, but he was getting on PBC cards. But since he wasn't true PBC, he wasn't getting a pick of the litter, but he was still getting, he had a relationship the way he was getting fights. The minute he went elsewhere, all the options and all the first dibs on our guys, it went away. Why? Because now you with them. You got, now with squad, now with side, that side of the street gets impacted even more. And when the money is enough, a la Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, when the money is there, you don't never hear sides of the street, none of that. It's like, no, because the money is there. And it's always been that way. People pick and choose and use that side of the street when they want to have those arguments. But people do cross the streets to avoid smoke, to be like, nah, but we ain't even on the, how could I want that smoke? Like, we ain't even in the same level. Like, what y'all talking about, man? He over there. I don't know what he got going on. I know what I got going on. That's almost like a strategic duck. It's a promotional company change. Let's go. This one. Pintails. Picky terms. That's another one. Picky terms is where it's almost like when it's kind of hard for me because it's a delicate one. The one where Jamal Charlo was saying he wanted to fight David Benavidez, but then Maul was saying no, he got to get a COVID shot. And then he was saying all kind of like weird things. I was just like, Maul, that's not a good look, man. Just because he said, yeah, he got to come to my weight class. Like, hold on, man. He's already at 68. He got to get a COVID shot. Ooh. Picky terms. But only reason why I use Keyshawn, I'm going to tell y'all why I use Keyshawn. Because it was several different people that we could say he maneuvered against. Because it was, what were the terms when it came down to why him and Frank Martin couldn't fight? What was the reason?
I don't know.
Okay, what was the reason why him and Andy Cruz?
He said for him and Frank Martin, Keyshawn was stating that he needed 3-4 more fights. Because the same day that Frank Martin pressed him, when he, after that whole situation, he was in a parking lot saying, why everybody want to fight me? The guy with only 5 or 6 fights or 8 fights, whatever it was. Wait till I get like 4 more fights. I don't care. Everybody can get it. Everybody gonna get the smoke. So in his own words, his excuse for not fighting Frank Martin was the same excuse Virgil made at 147 for not fighting Boots.
Bingo.
Yeah, and Andy Cruz, Andy Cruz called Keishan his son always. I'm his daddy. He say always in Spanish, and it is okay. He beat him up in all the amateur tournaments that they travel around the world. Okay, and I believe that Keishan and Andy Cruz should wait a little bit longer because Andy Cruz gonna become champion, gonna become a stream name, and then that fight can be the fight that launched him, because finally you beat the guy that been beating you for a long time. Now he's older, you're still younger, faster, because he's the American. And hey, Andy Cruz is my guy. Andy Cruz is my guy.
I don't know what kind of look. I don't know what kind of timeline you want to put on it, but I'm willing to bet you about, I would say, a strong $150 that they're never going to fight.
Yeah, I'm with that camp too, because Keyshawn's talking about going to 147 after this fight.
Running away from Andy. Running away from Andy.
When you look at the age.
Go ahead, AC.
AC, go ahead.
We might have went out real quick.
Oh, okay. I jump in till he come back. But yeah, Andy Cruz, of course, like, imagine a guy that beat you up all the time. You don't have nothing for him. So instead of fight him and lose again, I gonna a strategic dog. Okay? I'm not saying it's right, it's wrong, but for your career, whatever, because we Americans sometimes think like, these Caribbean people, these people, they are not in our level because we're the Americans, and it's a lot of people who think like that.
I'm saying it like this.
Ahora, he's back.
Yeah, okay, hear me?
Yeah,
now we can hear you.
Okay, so basically I'm saying it like this. Keyshawn said he's going to 147. When you look at Andy Cruz's age and what he may want to accomplish in boxing,
and his size,
it's just not in the cards. It was in the cards when we were asking for it, when we were demanding that fight. It was in the cards before Keyshawn decided to do his big crash out. And then after crashing out, you then say, I'm not going back to 140. I'm not going back to 35. I'm going to 40. So when you look at the Keyshawn situation versus Andy Cruz, I'm putting that in the straight duck conversation category, and it comes down to the micro category of the competition. I don't want to take that ass whipping. I got too much to lose to get my ass whipped by this guy with only 6 fights.
It's he said, but
the straight duck, yeah.
And now come the soft one. Check this out. And yeah, it's true. He's going up. He got his ass whooped, but Andy Cruz is not that stream. We know it because we were in boxing. You got to, we're hardcores. But for that common fan that they don't know a lot about Andy Cruz, he's not American. His English is not that good. So yes, he's training with the Annies and stuff like that, but it's not that like his name is not out there like that. Now when he beat Murataya, now people are gonna be like, oh shit, Andy Cruz, he's fighting pretty soon. But I understand because in that time both was coming up. Andy Cruz is a big name, and what the hell are you gonna get a loss with 7-8 fights, with a guy that is not even a champion yet. Like I see it that way.
Yeah, you giving them. I understand you still giving them soft landings. But,
I am that guy. I always gonna throw the soft one.
This the thing. This is why I say, and this is my whole thing, man. And this is hard. That's why it's hard for me to peg like who be on that predator shit. You see, the whole mantra of my channel be on that predator shit. That I don't know if you remember the show called Highlander, or that movie with Jet Li called The One, where there can only be one. It's like, well, if it's other people, it's something that be in the air. Like when there's somebody else that's just like me, and it's like, nah, man, we got to fight to the death. Like one of us got to go. It's only a few that's on that type shit, on that predator shit. You know how the predator be like, he wants to find, like, if it's a pregnant woman, he gonna spare her. If it's a small child, he gonna spare her. If he just see this species get eaten by that species, he ain't gonna go for the low level. He want that apex predator shit. Like, it's only a few that do this, and for me, it'd be hard for me. Keyshawn shows flashes of brilliance. He one of them people that when he be in the moment, it's just like sometimes like when a person freestyle or something and they be in their zone. Like you can tell when he boxing, if he get in his zone, he can fuck you up.
Yeah. But
the thing is, I think that he knows that the skilled boxer, the technical boxer, he got a weak spot for that. And then in growing and in maturity, he gonna do it. But like, you gotta think, man, he got some people that was like smaller than him. He got some people that really wasn't on Keyshawn level. So we don't, at this stage, we don't know where he at, because when he was a pro, he dropped down and got beat by an amateur several times. And that amateur took the gold. It would have been right for him to say, you know what? You ruined my opportunity to get gold. Now I'm gonna fuck the beginning of your career up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that blemish on you, the same way Cambosis did Tio. I'm gonna put that blemish on you, and yeah, they gonna have to talk about me whooping your ass in the pros. Now he didn't do that, and Andy Cruz is 30 years old. His stature, he's not that big. He ain't gonna get that big, because even when you talk about bone density and all that, Andy Cruz, he gonna, especially since he stay in shape, he ain't getting no bigger. He don't gotta worry about his bones hardening no more, and him all of a sudden can't make 35 no more. No, he's at where he's at. He's maxed. He's 30 years old. Ain't no more growth spurts. Ain't no more none of that. Unless he get a beer gut and get out of shape.
Well, he can make the 140 if he wants.
He could, but he's not going to stay at 40. He's going to go to welterweight, is what Keyshawn doing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is why we're saying that, like, all these picky terms with these different people where, okay, yeah, with Frank Martin, yeah, you need a couple more. I need a couple more fights. I need to do this, whatever. With him, it's like, no, he ain't did nothing in the pros, and he got a yada, yada, yada. With Shakur, it's now we best friends, and we terms.
I know. This is not the predator.
So that's what that one is. We only got one more. This the last one.
Oh, but let me throw a one in Keyshawn and stuff like that. And I was fan of Keyshawn. I want to be fan of Keyshawn. I like his style. I like how he move, how he attack. I love it what he did to Lemos, you know? Like, bro, but then you do this immature, stupid shit that what? Okay, you missed the way over there in the, I don't care, you were thinking of moving up. Okay, but and anyway, the Los Santos team was the one who refused the fight. Cool. But then why you get into a freaking fight in a locker room with somebody that beat your brother? What is wrong with you? You know, you're doing this stupid high school shit at a professional level when all eyes are on you. You know, you got the backup of the people because Teofimo sent you bananas and shit like that, and he was trolling you. So now people are investing in you because we want you to take Teofimo and shut his mouth, all this stuff, but you keep acting like a freaking high schooler. And that's what freaking pissed me off about Keyshawn, because bro, I like him. I like his style. I like the way he talk. I like a lot of stuff about him. And I can back you up sometimes in these dogs here and there. But if you keep doing this stupid high school shit, how we, the fan, gonna back you up, gonna defend you when you need us to defend you? We can't, because you keep doing stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, he say he changed. I'm saying you got to do more than just say it. You got to show it.
Yeah,
and we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I mean, he got bailed out. He got Jermaine Ortiz, and that's not a foregone conclusion. But we shall see. Let's get to this last one so we can start wrapping this up. The Black Ducks. That's just because you're fearful. Now, it's so many instances of this. I didn't want to put nobody on there that was a duck. I put the guy that was the boogeyman on there because for some reason, after people witnessed what he did to Tim Zoo, anybody in and around that weight class is like, no, Josh Kelly is the only one that said yes. And, you know, we're going to get that fight because Eddie, you know, won that purse bid and we're going to get it. But like the man been out for 15 months because nobody will fight him. And what people are saying, oh no, it's the rehydration. Like, oh no, it's not enough money. Oh no, it's like, no, it's just, you seen what he did to Tim Zoo. He's an unknown quality and that shit looked kind of scary. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I put Bakram up there. But there are instances when you can look at a lot of these boxers. And I always say this all the time. I've been saying this for a long time. I said, there is at least one fighter that every one of your favorite fighters don't really want to, like, yeah, they'll do it if everything, like, you know, if the sun was shining in the east and it was a cloudy day and it was like, you know, a nice 65 degrees and, you know, the birds are chirping and stars was aligned and, you know, it's my birthday. Like, yeah, they'll do it. But every one of your favorite fighters got somebody that they really not looking like. They just like, no, they just not gonna, they're gonna conveniently dodge that, move around, not want to do it. Why? Because deep down inside, there's fear. There's like, yeah, some of these like they be saying boxers don't fear nobody. Like, no, I believe a boxer will fight anybody, but there is fear. It's just like out here in the real world, like where for some reason there is fear. People are fearful of other people. You might have seen somebody do something to somebody, you're like, oh, okay, well, if it come down to it, I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna have to have the strap, like, you know what I'm saying, yeah, I'll fight this one. Like, yeah, it's just natural. It happens in boxing too. People act like it's like, no, I'm in the mess out with my chest out, I'm gonna fight anybody. There is somebody that every one of your favorite fighters don't want to go nowhere near. Yeah, under perfect, pristine conditions, yeah, they'll do it, but they're not, they ain't in no rush.
I'm gonna say it like this. We all grew up in the hood, right? Because we all grew up in the hood, it's easy to fight the dudes that I grew up with. When you outside the hood, I don't know this dude. I don't know how hard he hits. I don't know nothing about him. I could still be the dude that'll smack fire out of everybody in my own hood and shit like that. And depending on the situation, I may smack fire out a couple of dudes out of my hood. But when I'm, you know, I'm at the club and everybody from everywhere comes to that club and me and this dude is beefing and I'm pretty much by myself, I'm gonna have second thoughts about tussling with this dude. I'm gonna be like, listen, man, listen, you already know I ain't backing down, you ain't backing down, so let's just try to enjoy the party. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will say it like this. Like my grandma always told me, and that's like everybody have fear. It's two people: the people that relinquish in the fear, and the people that confront the fear. You know, some people pull back and say, But of course, I have a friend that used to tell me every time he was gonna street fight, you know, before he throw that first punch, his heart was beating, and you know, it's there. But as soon as you attack, effort, but other people, you know, it is. Everybody got fear inside in anything. It's not like you're scared or you're a coward, but yeah, to the unknown. Now,
if you ain't got fear,
or you're gonna relinquish.
If you don't have fear, you're schizophrenic. That's just the way I see it.
I say this, yeah, that it's crazy. One ass whooping. You know what it was too? It's the way they put the camera on Tim Zoo's eyes while they was all glazed out, and he was, you know what I'm saying? It was like, man. And then, you know, remember back then, right? Remember, at least me, remember, I was selling it like the half breed versus the pure blood. And the pure blood surely showed the half breed. Maybe you should spend more time in Maladaracha. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'm gonna say it like
the worst
this.
Team ever.
I'm gonna say it like this.
Oh boy!
I'm gonna ask Pop this question.
Saying.
Pop, I want to ask you this question.
Go ahead.
You playing a game of basketball, right?
Yeah.
You down, you under the basket in the paint, right? A nigga grabbed the rebound. As he grabbed the rebound, that elbow come down on you. Block. That sometimes that shit hurt so bad that you grab in your face a couple of times. Like, did this nigga cut me with this shit? Cause this shit hurt.
Hey,
You feel what I'm saying? So
that's
for
when
me,
you
when
make it out
people
of
was
bounds.
like, it's PSD or whatever with Tim Zoo, I was like, I don't know about that. Maybe that dude just hit him that hard that it felt like he was bleeding. Because I know I've been in a couple of games, I've been snuffed a couple of times that I was like, wait a minute, if this nigga caught me, is my shit bleeding? Okay, I'm not bleeding. I'm about to fuck you up right now. You feel what I'm saying? But
yeah, that happened
you
to me
get
with
caught
some trees.
sometimes where it's not it's not what people think it is. It's just yo, that shit was so hard. Maybe it was the sweat on my hand, maybe sweat on the nigga knuckle. That shit made me think I was bleeding.
Look, I came out one time. I was this why I was in the army. We came out, we was at the club, we came out, and I went over there to get, you know what I'm saying, the people who came with me or whatever. I walked around the corner and this dude, he just stole me. This dude just blow, like a straight flush joint, and like I'll be walking around with my teeth clenched, chipped 2 of my back teeth. Like I was like, I had little crumbles. I was like, and I was dazed for a second. Like, hold on, because I wasn't starting nothing. I wasn't talking. I just came around the corner to get whoever I was getting, and he was showing off, and just my 2 back teeth chipped the size of my 2 back teeth, and I was standing there like,
bro,
for
I
a
stopped
second,
playing
I was
basketball
like,
for that reason.
did this motherfucker just hit me? And I looked around, and my folks, they was like up the street and around the corner. I went back to the truck. I sat down in the truck. I was like, they were like, what's wrong? I said, man, this motherfucker just, I was like, I ain't even do nothing. I ain't say nothing. I was like, they were like, who? I said, this dude, he's like, what you gonna do? I said, I'm about to go back around there. I was like, we went back around there with like a Royal Rumble out that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We was out there. That shit looked like higher learning out that bitch. We was out there rumbling. We was out there rumbling.
That's why it's
for a second,
bro.
when it first happened, I was like, this motherfucker hit me that. I couldn't even believe. I said, this nigga hit me that hard.
Yeah, I that happened to me with branches. You know, I work with trees and stuff like that, and I've been hit. Sometimes, you know, somebody's walking and this branch came back and slammed the shit out of you, bro. And I've been touching myself, looking like if I'm caught and stuff because that shit was so hard. So I cannot imagine, you know, like Fundora freaking caught you with that big ass caught.
Yeah.
They let you fight, and then you go and fight this another dude, and he knocked the shit out of you. Of course, you're traumatized. You're checking yourself. What is going on and stuff. I always say, Team Sue got the worst team in the planet. They destroyed that kid for no reason.
Yeah, he might have been too much dog for him. What you saying, Pop?
Yeah, you know, it was the money. You know, they want that money fight. They juice as much money out of him as they gonna get. So now
come on, stop. Like the first fight, you can stop that shit in the second round. You got, I don't know, they caught whatever, and then you can do a rematch. Why you let him go 12 rounds like that? You got 4 rounds to stop the fight, and they can go to the no scorecard is a no contest for a cut, you know, and it was huge. Then they don't even knew how to close it neither. You know, that's the worst part. They would, and they oh my god, that was awful. I was like, what? Why you're letting him fight? You got a team that don't care about you, and then after that fight, they put you with this animal right there, backroom.
Hey man, hey fellas, I gotta get up out of here, man. I appreciate it though. Hey, that was a good cook too. But
all right, Paul.
Yeah, when it comes to Tim Zoo, man, I hope that Tim Zoo spent more time in Mother Russia.
Yeah, right. Stay over there, bro.
All right, man. Have a good evening, man.
You too, man.
All right.
Sander is fighting background now, right? Right in January 20, I think.
No, he's fighting Baru.
Who?
He fighting the boss, Peru.
Oh, the other yeah, I mean, we'll say champion. I forgot. They got these names, but like,
Yeah, this guy right here. Hold on. Let me show you.
yeah,
This guy right
Maybe-
here
espérate.
on the far right. He beat Tejas. He beat Yoenis Tejas, that guy. So that's who. That's
The
who he gonna-
IBF or the WBA.
for the WBA.
Okay, okay.
And let me see. I'm gonna wrap it up, but I'm gonna wrap it up. But I just wanted to have this man as a benchmark so people could be more conscious, because it's like we, especially since we like hardcores, it's getting tiresome to me to actually hear people just out here just calling people ducks. They're not even realizing, okay, cool. Like, you trying to act like, in certain instances, they trying to act like they make it worse than what it really is, the way they talk. And I'm like, it come a point in time in boxing where we got to understand like what we're dealing with. That way we can have productive conversations. Everybody's not ducking, and if they are, it's a classification for it. We went over the 6, but I want to justify with this. This is an old school.
I can tell you one that is happening right now. Like
The one we
Andy,
forgot.
He accepted the fight with Munguia, maybe because it's more money or whatever. But they're trying to say that Berlanga duck Rosendi. I'm like, what you're talking about? How Berlanga gonna duck a title opportunity? That motherfucker have not ducked nobody yet. And just because the other guy choose to fight Munguia, whatever, don't be telling me this because he's
to fight Munguia.
yeah, I think Rosendi gonna fight Munguia instead of Berlanga, but now people want to say that Berlanga relinquished or it was docking like what? He maybe is not what they're saying or whatever, or maybe people don't like his style. But don't tell me that Berlanga is docking. like I'm more
I
title.
gotta go do some research now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I heard
oblivious
that
to
stuff
this.
early in the morning
Hey,
today.
I wanted to bring this one in since we was talking about some of the categories. One that I thought of, I don't know if it fits the other categories that you said, was the media duck. When the fight is kind of announced, and then everyone takes it to the media, right?
Yep.
And then money's disclosed, and purses and seat numbers is disclosed, and what was your last gate price, and everything is put out in the media ethos. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
That's
You-
that. That's
yeah,
that.
and also I would also say it like this. This one is kind of tricky to try to use as an example, but it's the Brian Norman, Jerome Boots Ennis first joint. You feel what I'm saying? To whereas everything about Brian Norman was in the media. Eddie Hearn was part of it. Everybody was a part of it. And yeah, that could be within that category of those rare instances. You feel what I'm saying? To whereas the duck is hidden behind the media ploy to tear down the other guy's name, to remove him from the threat level. So is that a maneuver? Is it a duck? Does it fit the rare thing? It's I don't know. I don't really, I had it as media duck / maneuver.
Yeah, the media sometimes is the one that is making a scene like somebody's docking or stuff like that, because media, how it is. The media always want to have a storyline to go with. But I've been watching in real time, like how some of these media guys are losing their jobs. Now they are not in where they was and they have to move to another low-level channels. Like you can see Malignaggi, like I watched it today. He was talking about Matias and stuff, and he said back, "Oh, they put me in my coffee table that I have to talk about this fight, yes or yes," like, and don't screw it up. But he always do it. Like they are forced now to work for other people, but now you have, you know, like they're paying their consequences for being talking wild and radical, you know, like bro.
Yeah, it's
So
gonna, that's why I say, man, it could be a long time. You could have longevity for a long time, and because you're getting away with it, you thinking, hey, no harm, no foul. It's gonna catch up. But I had another one. I had one where, because I could have used different people, and some of these people like Floyd Schofield, he fell in a couple different categories. Shakur fell in a couple different categories. Canelo fell in 2 categories. He fell in the Black Ducks and the Muscovy Drake when it came to Benavidez. But this one, Frank Martin and Shakur, because I want to show y'all, I want to demonstrate how I really be talking this boxing.
I'm into
When
Frank Martin now.
Frank Martin had a deal with Shakur Stevenson, there was paperwork signed. It was done data. It got over, and when it finally got over there to Frank was like, nah, I need a little more on it. And he pulled out. That is a duck. You could say that's Muscovy. You could say, well, that's really Muscovy Drake. That's a price out, because you basically said you wanted more. And he was like, man, once I seen what we had a talk, and I knew what Shakur was getting, and then I knew. And people will say, well, yeah, he went on to go get the Tank fight. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. He did go on to get the Tank fight, which was a bigger and better bag, which was better for his career. But in regards to him and Shakur, that has to go down as a duck. What kind of duck? That was a Muscovy Drake.
So
that was a price out.
I got one else, one more for you, and I think you're gonna like this one because it fits that same Muscovy Drake if we given it that criteria. Lomachenko versus Tank. Remember when Loma pulled out the first time and he said, I want more money? Then they gave you more money, and then you said, nope, I'm done. I'm going to spend time with my family.
Nope, family time. So that's,
Oh, so, this is another team maybe you want to check later on with the media and stuff. Like, you saw how Frank Martin won his last fight, right? He was impressive. I don't know why suddenly I start getting reels now. Now is when the reels show up in my how you call that? I forgot.
Yeah, algorithm.
Yeah, in my algorithm. How Tank knocked Frank Martin. Now reels are coming up in my cell phone of showing me how Tank knocked Frank Martin. That wasn't there when that shit happened, but it's now when Frank Martin start to show up, you know, like he knocked this guy, maybe he gonna be better in 140, you know? Like, you're not just popping up. You don't want to elevate Gervonta. You just wanna squash down Frank Martin. You feel me? Because that fight happened already. Gervonta is doing other stuff. You don't want to prop him up when that stuff happened. You want to say that Frank Martin was a nobody, was an easy guy, was a bum, right? Yeah. But now that knockout and that,
man, I see something from TGV.
You feel what I'm trying to say?
I was calling it THV, the Haney voice, but now I'm gonna start calling it TGV. Its proper name, the gaslighting voice. Like, man, bro, the shit that they be saying and doing, I'm like, I do not know how y'all do this for hours and hours and hours every day. All of this bullshit that y'all be saying and doing.
BS.
Because they just did this with Frank. Like, they did a show about Frank. So they hopping on Frank to have him go against Hitchens and shit on him. And I'm like, y'all shat on, y'all didn't give Frank no motherfucking respect.
Right.
It's the same thing they just did with Earl and the whole Devitt can go up and get Earl, but they shitted on Earl. He don't need to come back. He don't. But if he was to fight Dev, that'd be good. But if he fight Virgil Ortiz, then no, it's like no. But he'll be good enough for Dev because Dev can get the torch passed and he can get more legacy and shine. And back in the day, one fighter he could give more light to just like he couldn't just give more light to Bud. He can give light to Devin and he can give it, he could pass it on to a couple people. I'm like, man, bro, how do y'all do this shit every day? But my point is this: they were trying to big up Frank Martin so much that they went on to say, yeah, that the only one to actually do that was Tank, and we know how good of a boxer he is and how hard he punched. I'm like,
What?
dude, you shit on this dude every day, but it's only when you make. That's why I say I can't do it. I can't do it, man. Like they will gaslight people, man. That's funny you said that because I seen them doing it. Like it's not really to build up Frank.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's really to tear down Tank. And I'm like, I don't get it. It's like, I don't get it, man. I can't do it.
They want to see Tank look so bad. Like they want to. So that's the reason they was praising Shakur to fight Tank. But now they say Shakur is boring and he's in bicycle, all this shit, right? But when was against Tank, just because they thought that Shakur can run the whole 12 rounds jabbing Tank and nothing was gonna happen. You saw what they did to Lamont Roach? He was a champion and he's fighting the champion at 130. You were not gonna tell me this guy is a bomb when he's the champion in the previous division and he's trying to conquer a second division.
Yeah.
But
and
now,
they say nothing about Shakur going up to fight Tio. That whole argument about the smaller guy. And look, and Shakur, he came out. That's why I say when you listen to these boxes, it's like, that's why when I listen to him, I'm like, man, y'all just should not talk, because Shakur came out and said, man, yeah, when they come down to this fight right here.
Now they want to praise Shakur against Tio because, they got their issue with Tio, but some of them, like, bro.
But look, listen to what listen to what Shakur said. He said when it come down to this fight right here, he said, man, we all knew what was going to happen to that in that fight, man. You had the smaller guy moving up to the weight class, you know what I'm saying? And we all knew, because he basically said he won money. He put bread down. He was like, so I'm not really impressed, man. And that's like, I'm like, so hold on. Aren't you the smaller guy moving up to 140?
Right?
Like to fight Tio, like you just shooting your own stuff. Like if you listen to what they say and then you judge like how they're moving, it's like, bro, by what you're saying, you're not moving right. Like by what you're saying, if I believe that bullshit that you're saying for the media to believe, then we'll be shitting on you all day based on your own logic.
Yeah, man,
and that's what
told me you want to conquer a
time.
second division, and I get it. Second, go for it. And yes, Tio is a good money fight for you. You think, yeah, okay, but Turk is the one building that card, so whatever. And Andy Hearn is the puppet, but do it. And I don't think neither that fight, like people are putting that Shakur is gonna do a Devin Haney to Richard Progress fight. I don't see that happening neither. That easy, no. Like I am not big fan of Tio neither. But I don't think it's gonna be that easy for Shakur and more moving up weight, because at least Progress and Haney was in that weight class. It was bigger.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, Tio done brought in Freddie Roach.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
He's taking it very serious.
Hey y'all, let me just wrap it up with this one thing. Let me wrap this up, and then we can chit chat a little bit. But I want to get this in here, like, because this is the last part. Because I want to justify this thing.
Oh, my bad.
I just want to justify something, man, so everybody will know this, and this will be on wax. This is an article I found, man, so that I'm not just putting shit out my ass. But ironically, when I found this article, it was literally 11 years ago. It was 11 years ago on January 7th, and I found this article on January 7th. So 11 years ago. But boxing lesson: 4 ways to duck dangerous opponents. And this is by pro boxing fans. Like, this is where this article came from. and they got a picture of Adonis Stevenson on there from Crunk Gym, Detroit. One of the great truths about boxing are that its best are often a balance of gladiator and businessman. Related to that is the sad fact that boxers usually have more motives to not take on the best possible opponents, since losing a fight might damage their future earning potential. So risk must be weighed against reward at all times. Yet nobody in the sport ever says, I won't fight him. No way. I'm just plain scared I'll lose. Instead, boxing has more artful ways for a fighter to avoid a fight. Jump ship to a rival promoter or network. If you need to avoid stiff opposition, especially if it comes from more than one opponent, the surest way to do so without looking like a complete wuss is to defect to a rival promoter, or better still, from HBO to Showtime or vice versa. In recent memory, Lucian Boutte and Adonis Stevenson both did this. The next one, cultivate your alphabet group. Playing politics, AC, is a sound way to make sure fighters you don't want to tangle with never climb up the rankings ladder to become an inconvenient mandatory challenger. Witness the way many fighters have forged close ties with the Suleiman clan and thereby enjoyed an easygoing ranking climate. Julio Cesar Chavez was so good at this that he passed the advantage down to his son, JC Jr. Fake an injury. This stratagem is so obvious that accusations that so and so wasn't really hurt or wasn't really sick and just wanted out of the fight are tossed around as readily as a football on a Sunday afternoon. The stratagem works too, because proving the claim of illness or injury is fake is a tough one. Demand ridiculous terms. Another strategy for getting out of a fight without actually saying no is to insist on terms that either the fighter, the other fighter, the promoter, or the network cannot possibly agree to. The usual tactic is for a boxer to price himself out of the market by demanding more money than he is worth. Almost as common as to insist on a hometown fight, or at least a home country fight. In the case of international matchups, look at how Roy Jones avoided Dariusz Michalczewski by refusing to fight outside of the United States, or at all. Those Germans who stayed safely at home, cost-setted by their corrupt officials. And all I could think about when I heard that article was that back and forth with Keyshawn was going back and forth with Richardson Hitchens, when they were like looking at fight, when they were flirting with the idea. He was like, man, it's gonna be at home, right? You coming to Virginia, we gonna do this. I'm just like, all these times, like, you don't have the belt.
Yeah.
You're not the champ. Like, but that's it, man. That's it in a nutshell. I had to put this out there, man. And give some kind of format to how the ducking works and how we can classify this, because it's 2026. We shouldn't, especially us that like to talk this boxing all the time, we shouldn't just be loosely throwing around and calling nobody duck. And if we do, we should know what kind of duck it. Oh, he's strategically doing that. Oh, well, it ain't the right time, and we can label it and move the fuck on.
Yeah, not just duck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can tell you, well, when Roy Jones was fighting, it's no excuse that I'm not gonna fight outside the USA, because the market was really strong in the USA, and you make money here. What the hell am I gonna go out there and get me a passport, and I don't have the security, and I don't have all the stuff that I know here at home I have, you know? So that one, like, now is different, you know, but two, when the Europeans don't want to get out of Europe, is for a reason, you know? Like, I don't like this Saudi Arabia that use the British Commission. If their guy that they lost, you always use dirty urine. Suddenly a positive come out 2-3 weeks later. That been so consistent in Europe that's what I don't trust. When over there they say somebody was positive, I don't buy it. You know, it's not like Bada or Wada over here. You know, over there I don't buy it.
Yeah.
In and yeah, like with Oscar de la Hoya and Tito Trinidad, that was a big dog. All those that you mentioned, De La Hoya used it, and finally it took 7 years to make that fight. And then when the fight is made, De La Hoya made all these type of uh, pricing. He have to get 75% of the purse. The judges have to be in his turf in Las Vegas. The judges, the ringside, mera, everything. And Trinidad barely made money in that fight, and Don King, whatever. But they knew if they beat De La Hoya, the money was gonna flow. Two, you can see in the fight how De La Hoya didn't want to be with Trinidad in the same ring, because I saw that fight, and he even want to be there. He was always trying to avoid every eye contact, everything with him. So yeah, all fighters have been using all these type of dogs, and they are there for the. We sometimes don't like it because, of course, as fan, we want everybody fight everybody. But if that happen, long careers don't happen, or long titles defense don't happen, or mega fights don't happen, because sometimes you have to squeeze two fighters and keep it away for a minute so people get real interest on it, and then when they clash, become a mega fight.
Yeah, I would say this. It would be probably more prudent to use the term the business of boxing controls how a lot of this stuff goes down than maybe the last set of it is the fighter and then the fighter's reaction or the fighter's maneuvering. We're going to see the last part of that. It's like watching a guy meet a girl and then you go see them walk into the bedroom. You don't really know what happened in the bedroom, but you got a good idea, especially if she come out and the hair's looking all crazy and you tucking in your pants and your shirt.
Right?
So you have a good idea of what happened. When it comes down to the business of boxing, that's where the duck and the business of boxing are a double-edged sword, or one is right above the other, and the space between them is about as thin as a piece of rice paper trying to be pressed between the two, because the business of boxing will dictate more than what the fuck the fighter is actually saying or what he wants to do. So the fighter says, yeah, I want to fight this dude. I done called him out. I had me and my team, was reaching out to his camp. But the business of boxing says, and I'm going to use Malazar's one of his criticisms of what he said. To us, boxing fans that appreciate the sweet science, we'll look at a Richardson Hitchens versus a Jermaine Ortiz as a great fight. That's a breakout fight for whoever wins. Jermaine Ortiz, you'll have another solid name on your resume. And if it turns out to be the win, it's a super plus for you. For Richardson Hitchens, everyone now is paying for that fight for you to lose. Mm-hmm. The business of boxing don't see that.
Nope.
They see the numbers.
Yeah.
So the business of boxing is going to say, okay, if we're going to put Jermaine Ortiz on a card and knowing him stylistically, what would be the better fight for him? Richardson Hitchens or Keyshawn Davis? The business of boxing is going to go with Keyshawn Davis all day, because there's a storyline, there's a backstory that actually sells. He had to crash out. Now he's on his redemption tour. Then they could play the clip of him saying, I was going through this and we had this picnic, and then God came out, and then God,
Yep.
two minutes later, God said that I got the phone call that said, you get ready. See, that's God at work.
Yep.
Just so that whole situation, you sold the fight. You sold
Yeah.
Keyshawn's comeback. So the business of boxing will tell us that Hitchens is not ducking nobody. The business of boxing will tell us Hitchens versus Jermaine Ortiz is not a good fight for y'all. Even though we said, oh yes, the fuck it is. I want my barbecue. But the business of boxing is saying, well, right now barbecue ain't good for you. Eat a fucking salad. And you're like, salad? I'm a grown ass man. What the fuck I look like eating salad? You feel what I'm saying? So that razor thin distance between the business of boxing and the actual duck is so paper thin that the closest thing to it, we tried to find the subcategories, but that article just told you how the business of boxing allows the fighter to duck or maneuver around fights through four simple tactics.
Yeah, I told you with the Canelo. You know, people don't like it. My bad. People don't like it, but the business of boxing give us the storyline. People want to see Benavidez, the big guy, beating up the old Canelo. Some people, old Canelo, you know, they want that fight. The people, the fan, right? But the business of boxing told us, no, that's not good for you. Canelo got a couple more fights. You want to see him defending his title and give us Berlanga, give us Munguia, give us, you know, to then bring us to, oh, look, Terence Crawford is coming up 3-way division. He's a small guy. The business of boxing told us that story. So then the business of boxing say to Canelo, yeah, now your time is over, and now we're gonna spread the titles. And sometimes we as fans don't see it that way because we want now what we want now and right now. And sometimes the business of boxing, we don't like it. Sometimes it's wrong, and sometimes it's better to just let it be and let it happen.
Yeah.
Like,
I just don't like how people be playing naive, especially people who be out here putting this stuff out every day. And they be so naive to like how the business work. It's like, it's so funny how people be forgetting how promotional companies work, how they have their own interests, how like the guy, because they'll tell you, I say this all the time, these boxers are commodities. They're just like rappers, they're just like R&B singers, they are commodities. Like they do not have, like until they break away and they're really calling the shots, they do not have the ability to pretty much call their own shots. So I find it funny. I'll give y'all an example. Earlier on when Floyd was like heavily involved, because Tank ain't broke away but so long. It's only been a couple years, if that. It ain't been that long where he broke away, and to a certain extent he could kind of like maneuver the way he kind of wanted, where he kind of, you know, had carte blanche a little bit. It hasn't been that long. But let certain people talk about this shit, they'll act like even in his inception, his first couple that he could have just told Floyd, like, nope, I'm going in there. Like, so when they asked him the question, when Gilly asked him that question, he's like, so how many times you done said, hey man, I want this dude? He's like, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I never really said that. He was like, that wasn't really his way. Like the way they do business, and this is the thing, they start them all off like this. Like everybody don't get carte blanche. Like the fastest I seen it happen was with Keyshawn. Like when they allow him to do that De Los Santos, like that's the earliest I've seen somebody be able to really grab their career by the horns and really be able to dictate, okay, I'm getting this guy. But all of that time, Loma got all of the benefit when he was running around just saying tank, even though he was over there with Top Rank. And I told y'all about the history of those belts that stayed over there on ESPN. People fail to realize the business part of that and the fact that Top Rank had control over all of those belts. They conveniently like forget that when they say, oh, Tank was ducking Loma. I'm like, okay, well, think about it like this. Loma was the A side at that point because Loma was the commodity. Loma was the one that everybody either wanted or they were saying he was the thing. Tank was on the come up. He was making a name. He happened to be under the Floyd, so he was gaining and garnering the attraction. But Loma get all the benefit of them saying Tank was ducking him. Only two. When Tank finally get clear, he's not up under Floyd, like he could dictate his own terms. He send it, and now Loma don't want to fight. Loma need more money. Loma want family time. And then they say, you know what they say? Oh man, Tank waited till he was long in the tooth. I'm like, it ain't been a decade since he fought Devin, but Devin can turn around and try to fight somebody like Manny Pacquiao. But Devin can try to fight Errol Spence. Like, it's like we gotta stop this shit. Like the way people be talking, and I know what they doing. They catering to the casuals, and people make a lot of bread. Go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. But like, people conveniently forget these things in business, and it baffles me.
Hey, like people like to talk all this stuff like they know. No, people now they want to be, you know, these people that know about drugs and all these PEDs and stuff. They never know what is a gram, and now they want to be the biggest scientists and know everything about it. Or they don't know shit. They're just fans like us and whatever. But it's easy to call somebody a dog or you run away like. But it isn't like that. The business is working. Look, like what I told you about Munguia, Berlanga, and the other guy, Rosendi. The business of boxing is trying to find out what is better, Mexican versus Mexican or Puerto Rican versus Mexican. Oh, but if he fight the Puerto Rican, maybe he lose the title. Like who we want to raise. So nobody's docking nobody. You know, it's happening in the 168 right now. We have Ley Iglesias #1, and the business of boxing is trying to figure out which are the fights that will match better so they can make more profit, because people forget it's a lot of investors. And when you invest money, you want to get returns on it. Nobody invests money just to lose money. You know, we're capitalistic. It's like everybody that put money down want a return.
And
so
sorry, go ahead.
So the business of boxing sometimes, sounds, how you say, cliche when you say, but I like it when you say that, JC, like business of boxing. Yeah, sounds cliche, but it's true. It's a business, and yes, it's a sport. It's boxing. They're fighters, but fighters are 20. A million per dozen, but promoters and investors and sponsors, they're not that many. Are the same group. If you're gonna look at it, you know, so you cannot call a boxer a dog just because, or say, oh no, he's trash, he have fought nobody. I can trash Dalton Smith right now, but what I gonna do that? He's maybe I know Matias gonna run over him, but whatever. You have to sell that boxer, and anyway, he's a boxer. He did what he did with who. You cannot trash your opponents or say no, that guy, because no, they fight, they do what they train, they get in a ring, and docking is not on the boxer hand, you know, it's on the promoter, because De La Hoya don't want to fight Trinidad in that fight, but the business of boxing told him, yes, you're gonna get in that ring and you're gonna fight him, period. So at the end of the day, the boxer don't have the last word. The business of boxing have the last word.
Now, I would say this. I could think of one instance where I don't know if I could blame it on the business of boxing. Because I just saw a clip of two Hall of Famers, legendary boxers, in a heated conversation where one guy confronted the other guy and asked him, why didn't you fight this guy? Why did you dump your IBF belt to not fight this guy? And that was this clip that's going around right now with Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield in this it's not heated exchange, but in an exchange and shit like that.
Yeah.
So when you come down to the Riddick Bowe situation, I still don't have 100% clarity on what happened, what was the circumstances and stuff like that, because this was a time, kind of like before the internet and before channels and stuff like that. So that one it falls in a gray area. It might have slipped through the crack and fell into that black hole. That's the keys that you find deep down when you go into the sofa cushion, and then you dig down, and then you just keep pushing your hand, and you're like, oh shit, there's a whole nother pocket down here. And you find those keys, a couple of quarters, you know what I'm saying, some paper clips. You feel what I'm saying? And if you're alone, you might find that condom that you swore you had in your pocket when Shorty came over, and it was just like, I don't know what happened to it. It was just in my pocket. So somehow or another, it made it down in those crevices. So outside of that situation, I don't know how to really classify that thing. You feel what I'm saying? Was that a maneuver? Was it a strategic duck? Was it a straight up and down duck? I don't know what the whole circumstances were, but at the end of the day, that's something that's always going to stand out until somebody like really is able to break down, you know, everything that really like led on to it and stuff like that. Because on one hand, you hear Riddick Bowe duck, on the other hand, you hear some other stuff, and it's kind of like that. Who was it? Demetrius Andrade versus Janabek. Who was that fight that Demetrius Andrade turned down because once it went to purse bid, or once he was hearing it, he was like, "These niggas is trying to pay me $100,000 for a championship fight."
Yeah, it might have been Janabek.
Yeah, man, I can show you when you try to fight the business of boxing and try to make it on yourself, they're gonna make it very hard on you. And we see that in the Suriel Matias, you know, how the Turkey won it, right? In over there and stuff like that. They say no, they won the bid. It was difficult to find a place, even in Puerto Rico. Okay, they find a place to make the car. How many shit happened to the cars? Some guy, they don't let him his passport go and stuff like that, so they have to for Manny Rodriguez. Then the Ojo Santiago and the Henry Cedeño, that shit was selling, was getting interesting, gonna bring some Dominican crowd. What happened? The commissioner of New York said that he's not healthy to fight, you know, and the business of boxing is gonna make it hard on you to.
And look, I meant to tell you this, man, Lazar. They have that shit that they did, that little PED thing.
Oh,
that has had an impact, because I hear people saying it, and they're tying it into him sending somebody to the upper room. I was like, man, they was effective, because it's like, man, that's one of them things to like a fake sexual harassment claim on you or something, to where it's like, that never happened, but it's enough to put that gray area
to fire
in your
you
profile, to where they gotta ask questions and they gotta have a conversation. Like, that's what they did successfully to Sabril, to where that's fucked up, because you actually have people calling into shows saying, yeah, that dude, man, who knows, man, that dude, that PED dude and whatever, just to get this man out the way, because you don't have control over his fight.
How many people don't bought the ticket because they was listening to the voice or whatever, and was 4 weeks, and you don't saw when that 3-4 weeks that stuff PDBS they announced Teofimo versus Shakur right
dirty
then.
Game, man.
Yeah, and what is the fight? Game, man. Like a week and a half later, you know, it's Teofimo versus Shakur. So of course the business of boxing is gonna make it hard on you. But if you want to climb, hey, we're Americans, and Don King did it, you know, charge the whale, how you call this one, the black and white whales, the one who eat sharks, you know,
killer,
the killer whales, yeah. So they are over there, they're swimming up there, and if you're a shark, you better know how to move and stuff like that, and know how to fight, because these motherfuckers are gonna make it hard on you. Yeah. But anyway, whoever listen, buy that pay-per-view. If you cannot go to New York and buy that ticket, bro, yes, you're gonna pay $50 to watch Suriel Matias beat up the British. But it is what it is, and just buy it and enjoy it.
Yeah. Dirty game, man. Like, the business.
Yes, it is.
It's the business. And I'm tired of people acting like, I know why they do it. It's just, That's why I gotta stay the way this channel is, to put the stakes in the ground so that people actually challenge themselves and be like, man, I'm gonna stop going along with this stuff, man, because you don't realize how impactful, even like the gaslighting voice, you know how impactful they are, man. Like by word of mouth, like even if
And
they
they
were
make
just
a
to
lot
be
of
silent
videos.
about certain things, like if they just was being quiet about certain things, but the fact that they can give voice to certain things, like you know how crucial that is. Like when you can have that many people listen and you put that stuff out there, and people who don't have time to sit there and research, they're kind of at the mercy of the information that they get. So they might like your personality. They might like the vibe that they get when they over there. They might like how you break down certain things or the interviews or whatever. But once you prick their minds to start thinking like that, and then they trust you. It's like being under anesthesia. It's like when you go to the doctor, right? And they tell you, all right, this is what we're gonna have to do, but it's gonna require surgery. The first question people ask is, you gonna put me to sleep? Not thinking that even if they put you to sleep, you don't know. They could leave a motherfucking scissors in there. They could use a scalpel in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
All you care about is that I'm going to go to sleep. And that's what we are. We even got to the point to where we go and we listen. And once we instill our trust in people and we stop critically thinking, we stop analyzing everything, they put us to sleep with the anesthesia. And then once they do that, they can get you to believe whatever the fuck they want you to believe. Why? Because you have let your guard down and you say, you know, I trust this person. And they're feeding you bullshit.
Bro, like how you gonna run? Like come on, at least think about it. Like look the amount and stuff. Like give a minute and think and look around what's going on. I remember when the news just came out, I was in the Cuban channel, right? And the guy told me, say, bro, you're gonna listen to this guy that is working for the Turkey and stuff like that. Slow down and pay attention and look at the numbers. Say, but for real, I say yes, don't go with that news. And thank God he listened to me, because other people went with the news like oh, positive and stuff like that, and sometimes maybe sometimes I did it before and stuff like that, and we go with the news without knowing actually the facts and what's going on, and we just go with the first fake news that the media throw us out there, and just now you cannot call everybody a dog just because if you don't know what's going on. You cannot call a boxer a nobody if you don't know his record or who he fought. Just because you don't know him don't mean he's not good. Mayorga told us that, with Bernard Cortes.
Especially when they in unison. Like when it's fast and it's in unison and it's repetitive, like it's the same exact thing, and they all lock in step in unison saying the same exact thing over and over again, you know that it came down from somewhere. This determination, it's just like, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, man, and we can wrap up. But remember when that shit fell out, when Jake Paul and the Tank thing fell out. You remember how everybody came out and said, oh man, Tank fumbled the bag. It's like everybody and they fucking mother came out and said, fumbled the bag. Brian Custer was like, yeah, man, like, what do you think? He was interviewing different boxers. I'm like, why the fuck are you bringing that? Yeah, what do you think about Tank, man? He fumbled the bag. It's like, man, those orders, that terminology came from somewhere, and that was orchestrated to put it out there. And that was like a code word where if somebody say fumble the bag, you heard it so much, it's like people start saying, yeah, man, when you fumble the bag like that, it's like, how the fuck do you fumble a bag? Like, what do you think? Like, you really think somebody's that dumb? That kind of money? Like, on purpose?
Bro,
like,
but people forget that when Jake Paul was doing some media tours, somebody told him, oh, but you, the Paul brothers, always like to fight the smarter guys. Your brother fought Mayweather, and Mayweather was way smarter. Now you're gonna fight Shakur, and was putting that into his ego. So he need to walk out from that fight, tell Tank, bro, the business of boxing, and look for a bigger guy. So whatever they make that quirk, okay, he got problem with females, so let's make another one, whatever, that will not gonna mess his career. The business of boxing did his thing, but Tank don't fumble the bag. Just the business of boxing said, bro, Tank Davis will not gonna be that much profitable. You need to look for a bigger guy. Okay,
I never felt that the whole fumble in the bag thing. What I finally wound up seeing and this guy's take on it was kind of aligning with the way I was feeling. I was like, it's something bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
And when Tank told the president or the co-owner of MVP, the guy that put the bag behind it, he told him, Jake Paul, and a influencer connection. When he told them, any one of y'all want to bet me, because right now this is staged and this is fixed, and y'all got these people trying to come in here acting like y'all don't know each other, but all y'all know each other. How about this? I'm gonna knock your man out. You want to put 200,000 on it? What kind of money you want to put on it? And Tank was adamant, because what they didn't understand is, yeah, that's a little guy, but you don't come in there and you don't talk to that little guy from the mud like that and tell him you're a white guy. Tell this little black dude that came up from the mud, yeah, I'm your daddy.
Yeah.
That's violation right there. That's the type of shit that Tank looked at him and said, oh, really? Bro, get such and such on the phone and tell him to double that up. And as for you my daddy? This is what you claiming? Yeah. So how about I knock you out? Jake's face completely turned. He was like, no, I just want to, I'm only doing this, because my charity and, the young fighters and helping out all the young fighters. And then the media guy comes in and tries to say, yeah, Jake, I just heard you speak about your charity. Can you tell us the good work that you're doing for all the kids that are unfortunate and stuff like that? So they tried to change it, but Tank wasn't having it. You already pissed him off.
Yeah,
just like with Frank Martin, and just like with Rolly, when he's like, yo, I'll keep it respectable. I'll look at my phone. You feel what I'm saying while we going through this? But the minute one of your mans and them start talking crazy, y'all don't want me to get turned up. He tried to warn Lamont Roach about it. You feel what I'm saying? But he was like, I'll let you get away with it because we from the same hood like that. So, but with these other two niggas that ain't really like that, and especially this dude, I'm gonna sleep these motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck. Fuck your plan.
Of course, because remember, Jake worked with everybody, and he liked to fuck with other people's feelings and stuff like that. Like Mike Tyson knew how to work Jake, and sometimes he don't think what he's gonna say out of his mouth. But Tank is a different level. He's a younger guy. He he's another from Maryland, and he's not gonna get that BS because already the media is bugging him because, oh, you're gonna fight Jake Paul for the money, like blah, 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 like this is not big and whatever, they're already bugging him and disrespecting him. And now Jake opened his mouth, say something that I think after he finished talking, he realized what he said, and when Tank told him, and he was like, holy shit, brother, let me see how I fix this shit.
Oops. And he couldn't fix it. They probably tried to get on the phone with Tank and try to fix it.
Yo, bro, like, my bad.
Nah, you violated me, bro. You on that stage, you don't know how that look. And Jake doesn't understand what the fuck he's talking about. He's like, what do you mean how it looks? He's like, rewatch it. And if you see what I see, then you know that don't look right. I can't let you get away with that.
Yeah.
I can't go home to my peoples and say, yeah, I let
it slide.
Influencer call me, tell me I'm his son.
Yeah, not daddy? His son. That he's my daddy. That sounds like a pin bitch shit. Oh, my bad.
Just I look at it like this, and this is where I'm gonna land my plane on this. If Roy Jones can come out and try to get on the racist bandwagon for Shakur, saying, oh, he couldn't have said nothing to me, because if he'd have said it to me, I'd have put hands on him. Okay, Roy Jones now. Put yourself in Tank's situation. If you're going to do it for that, put yourself in Tank's situation where you've got an influencer, YouTube influencer, who's not a real boxer, offering you a big payday fight, and he's telling you in front of the world, in front of cameras, he's your daddy.
Yeah, I'm the pimp and you're the bitch. That's what he's saying. That's how it sounds. I know Jake maybe don't say it with that intention. You know, he maybe said like, I don't know, Bobby, maybe in another way, but sounds like that. Like rewatch it, bro. Listen to it. Look how it sounds. Like
You don't do that to a dude from the hood. I don't care
no, you don't
what
do
hood
that
you come
because
from. I don't care if you white trash. I don't care what part of the world you come from. You from the hood, and there is this privileged dude trying to tell you he's your daddy.
The hood will not gonna accept it if you don't say that.
Oh, bro, we gotta fight, man. We gotta fight. And Tank didn't wild out on him. He kept it professional. He didn't get up there and try to smack the shit out of him.
But what he said on his eyes,
what he said through his eyes and his mannerisms, Jake was like, oh man, this is fucked. So I gotta go to somebody like Anthony Joshua. Then you piss off Anthony Joshua in front of the fucking
fuck Joshua.
What is it? Cam. The Cam interview. The Cameron interview. And you told Anthony Joshua basically the same thing.
You're a bum.
I'm your daddy and I'm gonna knock you out because you're chinny. Anthony Joshua looked at him and just started laughing, and you seen his mannerism change. Like, we didn't agree for you to say some stupid shit like this to me. And Anthony Joshua just said, yeah, I'd love to see it because I'm a real boxer. And now I'm gonna make you pay.
See, y'all gonna make me say this, man. See, this what happened. They looked at Tank and they saw him coming off the draw, and they like, yeah, he gonna stick to the strip. Like, yeah, he gonna take this bag because there's so much money. He don't care. And Tank was like, nah. Like he already didn't like that Tyson shit, and then Jake, people who are with Charlie Murphy. He like how he said Rick James. He said he was a habitual line stepper. See, Jake is a habitual line stepper. You know, so all them people that he had, because you can't get me, even when you see what Anderson Silva did to Tyrone Woodley that day, you trying to tell me that a black belt, I don't care. I was telling my lady, I said, man, look at this. I said, if you see how he caught Tyrone Woodley, I said, you really think that Jake Paul really could do that to Anderson Silva, a black belt, like who been a tenured black belt that's still in shape? Like, he not over the hill and then crap. I said, you really think, like, so when you a habitual line stepper and you keep getting all these people because of the bag and because what you can bring and how you can change their life financially, they've been going with it. Tank wasn't with it. The minute he found out, he's like, oh no, we got to do it. Because what did I say that first time? After that first press conference? I said, see, that's why I don't like Jake. Because what's the first thing he did? He insulted Jake. I mean, he insulted Tank, and he said something about some woman beating shit. Like, he said something about woman abuse. That's the first insult. Why would you make a fight with him? That's like Shakur making his fight with T.O., and now they're resorting over to this racist shit. Well, why'd you make a fight with T.O. then? Why are you giving him a bag? It don't make sense, and you're trying to sell the fight.
Yeah, because Jay tried to trash talk. You know, he tried to copy. It's like my stepson, okay? These kids sometimes try to copy the culture because like it, you know? His friends are black and stuff like that, and he's a blondie. But he was playing some video games, and he said the N-word. I have to enter the room, talk to him, and say, bro, that word don't look cool in nobody. Doesn't matter the skin color, but in your skin color, that word look way too awful. You don't say that, okay? Because look really bad in your skin color. Look awful in everybody, but in yours, look worse. And I know you don't mean it that way, but still, okay? You know, I have to talk to him. But Jake tried to trash talk using copying the black American culture, but it's like in your tone sounds, you're saying, and instead of trash talking, you sound like you're insulting. Not trash, insulting and diminishing people. And that don't sound correct, like not political correct and stuff like that. But sometimes we have to, you know, like me, I cannot translate word by word in Spanish and my slang over there. I have to modify it over here for the culture and the language. So, but yeah, I'm not trying to cover for him, but he fuck it up sometimes. Like I'm like, fuck, bro, I cannot defend you. Like damn. But we're forgetting that all that card, yeah. But the first card, the first match, was a debut of a Maryland. He was Olympian, I think, and stuff like that. And he debuted in Netflix, and everybody saw him.
Yeah, Jamal Harvey.
Yeah, so
You from Oxon Hill? I was just out in Oxon Hill yesterday.
he always do that. Like he always put himself like what? Oh, people criticize the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul and stuff, but nobody know behind he was trying to sell to the world Kathy Taylor versus Serrano 2, female boxing. So then in their third match, they made their money in their own. But never was about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Was about the undercard and sell these two females. When he do good stuff, but sometimes he open his mouth. It's like how we said in he always put his foot in his mouth. I don't know how to translate in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, siempre mete la pata.
Siempre mete la pata.
Siempre mete la pata.
Siempre mete la pata.
Yeah, like that. You always screw it up. And
I think we had a good one, y'all. We gonna wrap up, man. I
Yeah.
came a little early. If I get off early, I might start going 1 hour earlier. If I get off early, because sometimes I'll be ready to do the show, and then I'm like, well, my time is 9:15, so I was decided, man, if I get off a little earlier and I'll get done with what I'm doing earlier, I might start coming on a little earlier.
let me
It
say
was a
this
good.
one.
It was a good show though, bro.
Yeah, it was a really good show. I always love how you break down everything. It's always cool. Let me say this little one. Hey guys, if you think Dalton's Meat and Suriel Matias $50 is too much for you and stuff, get with your friends. 2-3 friends. Everybody put $20 and watch the fight in the house. Pay-per-view. You stream it in the TV, download it in your smart TV, and watch it, bro. You will not gonna regret it. Suriel
Where is
Matias,
it? Where is it? Where they showing it on?
payperview.com. You in your TV, in the smart TV, you look the app that say pay-per-view, and you download it on your TV, and then you get inside there and pay the fight. And over here in Connecticut is 55, but different state with the taxes and fees, it's around 50 to, I hear some places 40 something. It's not that expensive.
Okay.
But if not, get with some friends and don't, Dalton Smith. We don't know him, but we know Suriel Matias, and it's gonna be a good fight.
Good stuff.
That's
I appreciate it, Millers, man. Glad you feeling better too, man.
yeah. Thank you guys. Was awful. Was almost 3 weeks, bro. And I don't want nobody get this stuff. That's why I'm not going outside the house. But was a good show. I say bye to everybody, and remember, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned to Bodywork.
I appreciate that, man. Till the next time.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. I'm gonna end it where Mal is. I'm gonna just say ditto. Good show, bro. On to the next one, man. Great content.
All right, AC, man. I appreciate you, bro. As always.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Yeah, man. I just thought I had, since nobody else really want to do it, I just thought I had a responsibility to kind of bring some things to the table. Some things are trivial. Like, do belts matter? Depends. If you establish, yeah. But like, this is not like a pickup game, on the side of the road where like they don't have no value. It's just people tend to pick and choose when the pursuit of a belt or the fact that somebody is a champion matters. Like, it's like, man, it's some of it's trivial. Some of it's conditional. If you made it to the point to where you have a name, Jake Paul, he can do whatever he wants because he had a bag. He didn't have no belt, then he was bringing a bag. But in the real sport of boxing, you got to do something in the sport. And if you're dangerous, you got to have something that people want because you put the value on it. Like like people are not going to say this, But that strap that Tank have around his waist, it's a reason why a motherfucker did a world tour based on a draw. Had his whole life changed based on getting a draw with the man. Because if he would have actually took that strap from around Tank waist, that would have been the most valuable thing. You see how his whole life changed and everybody talked about him and wanted to see him. But when the fight was in the making, they said, "Oh no, who is Lamont Roach, man? There you go, he fighting another Lamont Roach." Shakur was cool with fighting him. They did the same thing with Frank Martin. You know, being a duck, could it be trivial? Yeah, but it typically is land in 6 categories. You fear somebody, you pricing yourself out, you're making a maneuver by changing like promotional companies, you're faking an injury, you're like you want all these crazy terms, you want everything to be perfect in your way. It's only about 6 of them. And somewhere in those categories, or straight fear, it's somewhere in one of those categories you're going to fall. It's our responsibility to move on. Like, I don't know how many of y'all watch the same movie. Like, I mean, it's a couple movies, like probably like Deep Blue Sea, maybe like Unleashed, the Jet Li joint. There's a couple movies that, like Shawshank Redemption, it's a couple movies that I could probably watch once a week, you know what I'm saying? Or every so often I watch like that movie Prey, that Last Predator, not the Badlands, but the one called Prey. Yeah, if it's on, I'm going to watch it. But like when it comes down to content and the things that we're saying online and how we're talking about this boxing, let's mix it up. Y'all stop getting remixed and gaslit, you know what I'm saying? Like it's 2026, y'all. And boxing is changing. It's taking on a whole different demographic. If you can either juice your noodle and start using your critical thinking skills and challenge these people with everything that they say, just like you need to be doing out here in the world, it's unsafe. It's irresponsible to just let people spoon feed you information. No, you got to qualify it. You got to go look it up because people can control you through information. And if you trust the source to where that's where you go to get your information and you're not qualifying, you just blindly believing it, do that in everything else in life. Have somebody chew up your food for it and then put it in your mouth and you swallow it. You wouldn't do that. But you want to process your own stuff. Go pick your own vegetables. Go pick up your own fruit. That's why I call this fruits and veggie, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based. If I trigger you, it's something that you don't, it's not because you don't like me, you don't like the things that I'm saying. Oh well, can't shoot the messenger. You can try. See how that work out for you. I mean, I'm just here to talk boxing talk, man, and try to have some semblance, some kind of standard, some kind of, and we still have fun. We laugh, we joke, we give examples or whatever, but like, the conversation about just saying, oh, he's a duck because of this and he's a duck because of that, and listening to this mainstream, I told y'all, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. So just because somebody write about it, just because a group of people get together and do a video about it, just because a couple Hall of Famers link up and they say this, that don't mean that it's right and exact. That don't mean it is true. It's an agenda. People got to get paid. Kevin Garnett got a podcast. Like all these people got podcasts. And everybody have something to say, but there's an agenda behind it. The minute we start getting too far away from what it really is, this really should be all about boxing. The more we uplift and we try to do things to get these fighters to fight in the ring, us wanting to fight, us demanding it, us saying, oh, he's a duck every single solitary day, us voicing our opinion about how much, that don't help us get the fight. If it did, shit, we would have got all the fights that we would be spoiled, but we're not. We still starving for good fights. So all it take, man, for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we got to speak to those things. That's what we do here. The thing that's going to change, the thing that's going to prick your mind, the thing that's going to get you off the beaten path and start thinking about, you know, like what's really going on. I heard somebody say, oh man, yeah, the mainstream people, they don't care unless you got a name. And they were talking about everybody, but I'm like, hold on, you don't even do content on the little guys. You don't do content on nobody. that's on the come up. Somebody off the beaten path. If it ain't Devin or Ryan or Bud or anybody up there on the higher up echelon where you could just hashtag this and get all the views, you don't get on that. You don't even do the right things by these guys, these lower level guys. But if we don't get with the program, man, and we start being more honest, man, and start like really putting our heads together and start thinking about how we can influence boxing in a positive way, we're going to be looking at wrestling. If people wrestling with boxing gloves on, scripted, where you can't trust nothing, you ain't going to want to buy nothing because it's compromised. And everything is set up because all of this hoopla about somebody being the best. It's funny how when they always say somebody just the utter best and this, they never go in as the underdog. That means they're not challenging. If you're that good and you're never perceived as being an underdog for whatever reason, somebody just being utterly bigger than you, you creating a challenge to where like somebody's bigger than you, taller than you, longer than you, stronger than you, faster than you, more athletic, better, higher boxing IQ, better corner. You in a backyard. If you don't ever go in the fight where you at a disadvantage, but you're the best, you gotta think about why people keep telling you that. Why people gotta keep jugging you and spoon feeding that to you. Use your mind. Use your critical thinking skills. You know what I'm saying? Step outside the box. Get off the beaten path. Hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack, man, and march on with it, man. This is my job to always challenge you. Always give you something to think about. If you don't like me, at least you got to respect the fact that I challenge you. I challenge your mind. I ask questions. I force you to just think. It's not the same old thing. This is not missionary. You know what I'm saying? We get real creative over here with the approach. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, man. If you can support the channel, man. I see a lot of people getting supported for the same information that originate over here, but they get supported over there. You know what I'm saying? Support the channel any way you can, man. Whether it's a like, a comment, a share, a hype, a super chat, a cash app, it all works. You know what I'm saying? Over here, we do put in work, man, and we try to go above and beyond in the content. It's not that same old, you know what I'm saying, remix, refried beans and shit that we do every week where we just smoke a joint and laugh and try to get our comedy on and just drone on people and berate and belittle. We try to like get you to think about something. You know what I'm saying? Get you to look at things from a different kind of perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's what we try to do over here, man. So we appreciate every support. All my people who rock out with me, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for the 300, man. Thanks for the people who stick with me. You know what I'm saying? I've noticed in my analysis that my videos are watched by the people that subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Majority of them are by the people that subscribe, which is good, meaning that I have a target market. It's always more. It's always, the views I get are always from the people. The majority of them are from the people that are subscribed. You know what that tell me? I don't have a lot of turnover. And as I grow, it's organic, and that line don't shift. We slow and steady wins the race. That's why I call it the 300. We don't need 1,000 or 1,000,000 soldiers. We need just 300 bad motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. That's who I cater to, man. The people that's going to think. The people that's going to be able to multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? They can do a little bit of everything. That's who we cater to. So I appreciate my soldiers who rock out, who chime in, who comment. Holler at me, talk to me, I'll talk back. Anyways, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to